can't sing over the other thing. Hi, gee, I feel like I never left. I feel like I've been sitting on the same stool that I've been sitting on for a couple of hours now. But hey, this is one of the days when we just make hay while the sun shines, and we're just going to work and plow straight ahead. And there's so much to cover and so many issues, and so many people had questions. It was nice when people could come over to Stuttering John and ask me questions, even when I know they won't like the answers. So that's the don't say stool. All right, sorry. There I am saying stool. Yeah, Twitch should be on. We should be up and running on there, I think. Oh, is there something up? Hold on. What's happening on Twitch? It says we're online. Yep. We should be alive on Twitch. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't on Twitch. We were doing so well. We were over 800 on the subscriptions, and then it went down over the holiday. I can't take a couple of days off without people going. And of course, if you have Amazon Prime, and many people do, especially during the holidays, you can do it for free. So throw it my way. That'd be lovely. And of course, if you want to subscribe on YouTube as well, that didn't cost you anything, so it's nice. And Facebook people, hi, welcome. Congratulations for weeding your way through Crazy Town and finding your way here. I will at some point, no doubt, be creating an avatar of myself where I do my show in the metaverse. And it'll be a lot of fun. Yes, it's Taco Tuesday, it's Tango Tuesday, it's it's Truffle Tuesday, it's Too Much Tuesday. My God. Thanks, Carta. I try. Man, some people do not like when you disagree with them because they think that a single disagreement, especially over tactics, will bring down the whole thing, which doesn't really speak well to their faith in their overall system and way of being, too. So, but I mean, that's enough of that. We have plenty of stuff to talk about today without the help of, first of all, let's start with, let me put this on here. Today we're going to be talking about Huckabee talking to this dude about the MeWe platform, the new MeWe. MeWe is going to replace Facebook. It's totally going to, it's just like Getter is the new Twitter, and Truther is the new Getter, and Parler is the old Getter, but the new, potentially, somebody's getting weed on this site. That's all I know. MeWe is the name of the thing. Hannity, of course, is very concerned that Biden hasn't kept his promises, especially around the infrastructure bill, which passed, or the American Rescue Plan, which passed, and the number of people vaccinated, which success. All right, but I'm sure there's something. Ben Shapiro is going to tell us how to be afraid of the OMG variant, and then which I'm sure will be a balanced take, and it won't just be a really high-pitched dude reading to us at Adderall speed from his laptop while the camera is on him, and he like, anybody ever notice that Ben Shapiro talks like a boat motor that refuses to start? All right. And then, of course, back again after a lingering hiatus, Don Jr. is going to get easily confused about what it means when you ban travel to and from a country, and that the standard, I'm guessing by the title, it's he's confused about the reasoning behind the ban being a question of morality, not the existence. But well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not sure of anything. But in the meantime, our dear friend Rusty Rimshot, Russel Brand, has been in his trek across, after he's got his people out of Israel and I guess technically out of the Pharaoh's clutches, and has been wandering around the desert trying to find a political direction, and has settled on the Alex Jones promised land of selling lead-lined dick pills to maggots under the pretense that he's the hippie Alex Jones. He's the easier, Rusty Rimshot. That's his Twitter thing, isn't it? Rusty Rimshot, is that right? I know I'm getting that right. Anyways, he's been monetizing the illusion of being lefty probably better than anyone since Jimmy Dore, who is an authoritarian clown, by the way, and has driven people to murder other human beings, and so therefore fuck him. But hey, what's not to like in a millionaire Marxist? You know what I mean? They're fun. So, but this one is titled. For a while, he's been dicking around with titles on his clips and his episodes that are kind of on the fence. Like, can you believe that governments are saying this? The UN might try something like this. Is this real? Like, let's hold on. Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Go to YouTube. Type in Rusty Rim Shots. And whoops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Rusty Rim Shot should come up. Yep, there it is. And if you go to Russell Brand, hold on.
Look,
it's my site. I've got a site, right? Look. So if you look at his site, Russell Brand new live show, tickets on sale, 33, which I'm sure is some reference to Freemasons with my luck. Or that's how old he is now, and he thinks that's wizened. But nice artwork, by the way. You know, I don't know why this woman is trying to read his shirt, but the bald guy's like, "Did you fart?" But okay. It has him listed as British comedian on his site, whereas he kind of looks like a messianic figure on this. You know, and if you look at his videos and the titles of his videos, most of the time it is. I'm just asking questions. That bullshit, right? Metaverse. Now he wants your prayers. This is sinister. They must think we're suckers. This is insidious. Seriously? If this isn't bribery, then what is? Hang on, Black Friday deals are what now? We're being conned. And he's got these, like, he grabs a, oh my God, face thing and has them thrown in there with it. Vaccine mandates. This is what history warns us. Warns us about? This is what history warns us? I don't know. They invented the fucking language. They can use it however the fuck they want. Or our leaders are losing it. This is alarming. And he's got Boris Johnson and Biden, and they both look like they've just forgotten where they are. Crazy mess. Pfizer whistleblower slams vaccine trials. Shameful. This is how Bill Gates and billionaires are what? Hijacking our future. So most of the time, it's kind of low-level conspiratorial paranoia bullshit, right? Where you really wouldn't know per se what his political leanings were. And a matter of fact, in this one with Boris Johnson and Biden, you'd think, well, he's kind of half and half, right? He's making fun of the conservative leader over there and the Democratic leader over here. And let's see, hang on, it's a trap. This is terrifying. Think elites are scamming you? Watch this. Like, I mean, it's like he took a course on clickbait at YouTube University. It's just fucking stupid. So anyways, in the process of this, this is the video clip art that came up on this one. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, which Facebook and Instagram, same fucking company, but okay. And this guy his mouth is taped shut with masking tape, obviously, which is, I guess his girlfriend was about to spray paint his face and she wanted to create a cool pattern. If you wanted to go with this, you might want to go for a duct tape shot. The no hate people have got lots of those. They're kind of cooler looking. But the title of this one is The Turning Point. You're being silenced, all caps, how the left became puritanical and shut you up. Oh, dear me. I did not realize I had been shut up. This is a concerning point. You probably didn't know that the left shut you up and that you're being shut up and that you're being silenced, in quotes. So he says this, and I'm guessing that this word was said louder than the others since they're in quotes. How the left became puritanical and shut you up. Russell Brand, November 30th. 6,439 views. 545 rumbles. Don't let that upset you, Rusty Rim Shots. I'm sure let it hang around for a little while, and this will gain steam. By February, people will catch on to the warning you were giving us. Okay, and this will be an ad.
Hey everybody, stop clicking around. I am in the woods with some water going in the background near my...
Do you feel you're being silenced by...
Okay, hold on. All right, I mean, he's a fucking grown man. This is what's happening. Let's see. See if I can go... No, it'll be on here. No, that won't work. Maybe it will. Hold on, let's do this. Hello! Listen to me. I know all. I have over 10,000 words for the same kind of snow. Join me. All right. Russell, you're a grown man. It's not cold. Look at all the firewood you have behind you. Make a fucking fireman. And clearly we know he does not have a cat because this would never survive. And he also does a podcast, so he has headphones over here because apparently when you make you have to cover both your ears like you're a singer when you do this. Okay, so anyways, sorry,
Do you feel...
Rusty rim shots, half Yeti, half asshole with Messiah complex. Please continue.
Or being silenced by out-of-control government power, chances are that that's exactly what's happening. I spoke to Brad Evans, who is a...
Hold on. That's not what this says. How the left became puritanical and shut you up. Okay, now back up. Back the fuck up there, my little brony. Do you feel like... What?
Feel you're being silenced by out-of-control government power, chances are that that's exactly what's happening. I spoke...
That's right. Guys, come on. Out of control government power. That's what it is. The Democrats, which have like a 50-50 split in the Senate and have just taken over the presidency. Trump's only been out of power since January, and your rights are completely shredded. Now, for the record, Russell Brand lives in a monarchy. And does not have an absolute freedom of speech like we do in the United States. He doesn't have the right to freedom of speech. It's not codified in their country in any way. So maybe leave the monarchy. Maybe not fuck around with monarchies. I'm sorry, go ahead, my little brony.
To Brad Evans, who is a professor of philosophy at Bath University.
Okay, hang the fuck out for a second. Hold on. When the fuck did... I have to find... It's like... I gotta go to YouTube for this. Hold on. Hold on. See if I can find something here. When did this happen?
All parts of your body. Why is the actual heartbeat so old-fashioned? Boom, 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 boom.
That's a built-in mechanism in the heart that is, it's electrical.
But surely, like, my homies out there would be more into looking after their heart.
Right.
We talk about Foucault, Nietzsche, silenced by out-of-control government power. Chances are that that's exactly what's happening. I spoke to Brad Evans, who is a professor of philosophy at Bath University.
Yo, he like the professor of all like things smart and right. And I know I'm just a dummy, so I'm just asking fucking questions.
We talk about Foucault, Nietzsche, the impossibility of communication between people from different political camps. How are we going to get...
Oh, so you jerked each other off. I'm sure that this is a clip from his behind the paywall podcast. Because that's freedom.
out of this tribalism? Is there a way out of puritanism, authoritarianism in all of its forms? This conversation took place on my podcast, Under the Skin, available from Luminary, to which you can subscribe if you wanna. Stay to the end of this clip. Tell me what you think about this conversation, and tell me.
I think you should build a fucking fire. Authoritarianship and Puritanism.
How are we going to create new spaces for dialogue, discussion, and...
Yeah, we need like a safe space where everyone who wants to wear a hoodie indoors in a warm climate when it's perfectly fine outside can do so.
Change. How would you use your pre-existing rubric of analysis, in particular with regard to this?
And I'm sorry that I'm wearing a bathrobe and I got to hold it closed, but I forgot we'd scheduled this, and I was like, oh shit, right? So I'm on the can. I was in I don't have time to dry off, and honestly, it's a bit nippy out, right? And normally I let it hang all down, right? But not today. Yeah.
Pandemic.
Shit. And here we have a man who has taken the inner workings of his brain and the linear connections of his thoughts and the functionality of the tactics and ideas that he likes to think about, and has made them into a painting behind himself. This is how someone lets you know that they've thought shit through.
What do you think about what's going on in places like Australia?
I think you ought to get a roller for one. Seriously, man. I mean, I would get my colon checked.
Vis-a-vis authority.
Oh, we got 666. I don't think it's a mistake that we got 666 people in the chat room right as Rusty Rimshots gets started. So please feel free to give $6.66 super chats. Bless you and thank you. And here we go.
And how has liberalism, with all of its initial emphasis on freedom, has become antithetical to that in practice? And do you even agree with that analysis?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was great. Use my question. I sounded really good right then. Who are you signaling to? If there's someone else there, could they tell you to put some clothes on while you're doing your show? Christ, man, I have a bathroom right there. I have the decency to shower before the show.
I think I've often found, in terms of analysis of power, if the location of power looks obvious, it's probably not situated there, right? So you know.
Yeah, you might think you live in a democracy, but it's probably George Soros and the UN and the deep state. And Jesus Christ.
And I often felt that Trump was very much a distraction, and a powerful distraction.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I don't know why you were worried about what Trump was doing or any of the things that he tried to do and the stuff that he said. I mean, if you're not in the groups he was constantly denigrating, I mean, it's really just kind of a distraction. You know what I mean? The way he talked about trans people or Muslims or any of that. No, I mean, and it's just a distraction unless you're one of those people and your life is fucked by the decisions he would make, having the absolute levers of power as the leader of the free world, and the trickle down from the shit he said insofar as authoritarian regimes across the world taking their cues from this fuckhead. But it's a distraction. Guys, this is just to keep you busy.
But a distraction nonetheless to the wider operations of power, And we knew historically, if you want to understand, good old-fashioned state power in the United States of America, it was never George Bush, it was always Dick Cheney. There was always something behind this that's kind of operating, and that's how real power operates. Now,
yeah, totally. It wasn't Trump. He was a distraction. The whole thing was orchestrated by Pence. The whole hang Mike Pence thing was one of the most clever camouflages of a true leader operating behind the scenes, along with him and Kevin McCarthy, who was screaming to not get killed from the Capitol during the January 6th thing. He was just screaming to be saved from a distraction.
In terms of thinking about, first of all, the legacies of someone like Trump, I find it extraordinary. First of all, let's not forget that Trump only came to power because of the power he was able to wield through social media. That was his mobilizing factor. But then we're in a situation.
And for the record, assholes who thought he was just kind of a distraction.
Where, if you talk about religions always have these narratives of salvation. And there comes a moment where the social media companies suddenly say, you know what, we're going to save you from this guy, right? We are going to become the political salvation because we now recognize that this guy is dangerous. And actually en masse, literally throw, an elected president of the United States of America off these platforms, right? Now you think, well, some of...
No. They didn't just en masse throw him off the platform. He said all kinds of rank shit for years. He violated the terms of service on these sites, private sites, that, by the way, take up no geographical space, so it's not the same as not letting him enter a mall or a fucking building where the roads paid by taxpayers lead there. These are American companies, but they exist entirely in server farms. No one is ever muscled out because of the lack of operating space on one of these things. And Trump constantly overstepped what was legally available in terms of behavior for the average citizen all the fucking time. And finally, after he ginned up an attack on our own capital, the worst since the Civil War or the War of 1812, pick your poison, they finally went, all right, maybe he's rounding people up and driving them to violence. It might be time to pull the plug. Meanwhile, this fucker had the POTUS website. He had anytime he wanted to walk out to the podium, the news networks of the world would carry every word that he wanted to put out. He was denied no rights. He was denied no free speech. He wasn't able to skate past all the rules the rest of us live by, which in a democracy, no one is above the law. And no one else can skirt the law just because of their power and influence. In theory, that's how we should operate. It's actually a good thing when the standards are equal for everybody. And they were unequal for a long time. He was getting away with murder for so long that they finally went, fuck this. They categorically kicked him off, because they're Puritans.
Say, well, actually, we had too much of Trump in our headspace. But should these organizations, whatever we think of Trump, I've written very critically of him, but these companies should not have that power to...
The fuck they shouldn't. No government and no governmental entity should be able to force anyone to carry the message of any elected politician in the United States, period. That's integral. What kind of North Korean horse shit is this? No. This is insisting that private organizations and therefore private individuals can, by government fiat, be forced to carry the regular messaging, by the way, not emergency broadcasts, not Amber Alerts, but the regular chit-chat of another human being by force of the government. Beyond that, that it should be the leader of the country and that they must carry it. Are you out of your fucking mind? Look and look at Russell. Oh, it's such a good point, it's such a good point. Yeah, these companies have too much fucking power to, not deny anyone free speech, just make everyone behave on the same level as everyone else. Oh, shit. The government should have the ability to force the president's words into the mouths and ears of every fucking American. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have to ask the networks to set aside an 8 o'clock slot so the president can do a fireside chat or talk to the country about him. They shouldn't have to ask. There should be an override button in the fucking White House. Because that's what he's asking for. That's what this fuckhead is asking for. This is what, and if Russell Brand goes, yeah, good point, which I do not doubt, he will be so true.
Basically, strip away the voice of a president of the United States.
Fuck you. They did no such thing. He's got his own personal website. He's got the presidential website. He's got a podium he can talk to from any time. And again, he could pick up the phone and call nearly any senator, governor, and institute his will upon the American people with very few limitations. So the idea that somehow he's being stripped of his fucking voice because after 30 or 40 or 100 times violating the terms of service that would have gotten the rest of us Americans, where no American is better than any other American, even if you have been elected by other fucking people, it would have gotten us kicked the fuck off. This argument is so, we've heard it from the right wing a bunch. As soon as Trump got kicked off, this was the primary argument of the right wing. And the fact that this dude is like, yeah, doesn't that seem how
of America. And I think that is, and to me, it was almost revealing how, it was almost like a case of where's Wally, right? Trump seemingly just disappeared from the planet.
Hi, fucko. First of all, it's where's Waldo? And secondly, he didn't disappear from the fucking planet. He had a website that was the United States government's website that he could put out almost anything he wanted to say. And if he wanted something campaign related, he had his own DonaldJTrump.com. He does release statements from there. He can all the time. You cannot strip away the standards of a social gathering. If the president of the United States wants to walk buck naked through a fucking mall, he can't. He is not being denied his right to free association if he walks into a mall tackle out. And the fucked up thing is, they would have let Trump do it dozens of times before the mall went, all right, fuck this. Sure, no one can see his dick anyways, but still it's freaking out the children.
And how can you make sense of that kind of disappearance of somebody who was in our headspace for so long and then almost fell off a cliff? And there was no kind of a way of...
What? Excuse me, my life is not operated with a gap in my soul that is only filled by the existence of Trump. What the fuck?
Kind of engaging with him in that way then. And I thought that was quite a real powerful moment in revealing where power kind of lies, right? In terms of...
It's kind of lies. Kind of lies. Like how this asshole kind of lies about every fucking thing.
Thinking about this. Now, your second point then is in terms of, what comes through this.
Look at Brandt. Yeah, so basically you said what I said, like when you were saying it, yeah? And then you said it, and then you're basically saying what I said was right even before I said it.
I agree in terms of any study of history where there's been a cataclysmic moment, we see how there is a fundamental danger of us collapsing into a new religion and into a new, and a new religion in a way which becomes, driven by a real kind of different Puritanism, and I'm kind of reminded, for instance.
Yeah. Ever since the Manson family in Jonestown and the existence of Scientology and Joel Osteen, the whole country's just been, we're this close to slipping into Puritanism. That's America, and they're talking about America. He doesn't mean fucking England. They don't give a fuck. They're talking about us. Yeah, we're this close to Puritanism. Yeah, because the Puritans were concerned with trans rights and pansexuals and good fucking God, and gay marriage. Yeah, it's a new kind of Puritanism where I call it impuritanism.
There's that very famous quote by Friedrich Nietzsche when he says, "God is dead."
That this fucker is going to quote Nietzsche to make the point that we're... All right.
And we have killed him, right? If you read the full quote from Nietzsche, Nietzsche's is terrified by the death of God. Because he goes on to say, who are we going to become now we've become the murderers of murderers? And he realized we will become gods in the place of God. And all.
Yeah, you've lost Russell there for a second, bruh. Can you bring it around to how he's going to end up being a messiah? Yeah.
The violence that we would commit because we replaced God with a nation state. And he understood that we were creating a God more terrifying still. And I understood that, right? And this led to a particular
Earlier in the book, section 108, Nietzsche wrote, God is dead, but given the way of men, there will be caves for thousands of years in which his shadow will be shown, and we will have to vanquish his shadow too. Now, does that sound that Nietzsche is concerned that the nation state is going to replace him and we need something else better in there? Let's go to the full in the Goodreads play. Here we go. Yeah? No, I don't want to do that. God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? That's what he's talking about. What was holiest and mightiest of all the world has yet has bled to death under our knives. Who will wipe this blood off us? What water is there for us to clean ourselves? What festivals of atonement? What sacred games shall we have to invent? Is it not the greatness of this deed too great for us? Must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it? This is one of Nietzsche's bigger egotistical circle jerks. And Nietzsche is one of the people in life, in the arc of humanity, that simply became a philosophical cudgel because of timing and the printing press. It's kind of like early people in YouTube. You know, they gained ground because they were there for a long time.
Kind of puritanical politics. Now, I think we're in an age today where liberalism has collapsed, where the right itself is becoming more emboldened in its ideas of identity and sovereignty and so on.
Yes, liberalism has collapsed, but the right has become emboldened in their ideas of liberty. And remember, these are all positives. Listen to this dude's language. While the appearance of being balanced is necessary to being on this show and selling this raft of horse shit, ultimately, you'll hear glowing terms about the people he sides with on his own and negative terms against those that he thinks are the problem.
There's elements of the left which I find myself having absolutely nothing in association with whatsoever, because it's collapsed into a social media driven puritanism. I just simply don't recognize.
Yeah, look at Russell trying to appear masculine while chewing on a pen.
Myself in, because there's no nuance, there's no opportunity to have a viable critique in the middle. There's no, as you say, that.
But by the way, while this is going on, inside Russell's headphones,
prior to this pandemic, so many of us were writing critically about the excessive power of the state's right to ban comedy, culture.
He's not listening to a fucking word.
The old, Giorgio Agamben wrote, what defines the sovereign state was its right to ban, its ability to ban things. That's its power, right? So we were writing critically about.
No. The sovereign state is not defined by its ability to ban things. To quote this dude's probably his favorite philosopher, Hannibal Lecter, that is incidental.
The state's right to ban. We were writing very critically about, the whole project of Michel Foucault was writing critically about the politics of health and how, biopolitics.
No. Okay, so Foucault is well, here, Michel Foucault is basically who, like the hard left uses to sort of define the idea that definitions are meaningless and that nothing means anything, and it's sort of a philosophical, almost it's nihilistic. It's grammatically or definitionally nihilistic.
Politics was always deeply political. So there's this radical movement which happens in the 1960s where we're critiquing the sovereign right to ban. We're critiquing, the politics of pharmacology. Not that we want to do away with medicine completely.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. That's what was happening in the 60s. In case you guys weren't keeping track, the 60s where people were doing acid and drugs and fucking around a lot and having a new sexual revolution, basically as a pushback against big pharma.
But we recognize there's a politics to it. Today, you can't question that. And unless you want to be thrown in bed with the alt-right. It's kind of...
No. You can question it. You just can't assert that there are solutions to things when there are not. And pretend that what you heard about the possibility of maybe such a thing is on the same par with a clinically tested drug or things that have been through double-blind studies or that they've actually done human trials on. That's the problem. You don't get... I've written the word ivermectin a shit ton in tweets. Never gotten kicked off for promoting it. See the difference is the assertion of knowledge being on par with other knowledge is where you get in trouble in a lot of these areas, or where you don't even get in trouble. You just get fact-checked. But let's see. Let me try to see. I'm sure. Let's see. Here's a just in case if you wonder what Puritans used to do. This is, and understand, somebody getting in a Twitter timeout because they suggested somebody suck sour apple horse paste to instead of getting vaccinated, and they get put in a Twitter timeout for 12 hours or 24 hours is the same as what's occurring in this picture. It's the new Puritanism, guys. This is what Puritans do. Yeah, this is. Let's see what else. Let's see. Here you go. Laying the heels in the bilbos. That sounds fun. Let's see. First, Puritans took them was the bilbo as a way to punish sinners and lawbreakers. Poor Bilbo Baggins. According to Alice Morse Earl, the Spanish named it after its place of origin, Bilbao, Spain. They shipped Bilboes to the Spanish Armada in anticipation of all the English prisoners they would have to shackle, because they tie these together on a stick and then they could drag them around by it. Let's see. They were simple but effective restraint. That's it. The Scarlet Letter, a wanton gospeler. Wickedness, a cleft stick. That sounds fun. Branding and maiming, which is basically like Russell branding and maiming, I think is what they used to call it back then. By the way, that's where Russell's namesake comes from, is the activity of burning an insignia into flesh, that of a human or an animal. And I don't know if he comes from a long line of herders, but more than likely there was plenty of this in his British family line. But this is basically the same thing. If you get put in a Twitter timeout, it's the same thing of being put in a stockade and being branded and whipped.
I know you've been kind of subjected to this yourself. If you're kind of standing in the middle and going, well, hang about, can we just have a little bit of nuance here? Can we just step back and criticize some of this?
It's funny, because I've done that and I don't have a problem, and neither is he. And if you look at what got him kicked off whenever he got kicked off, more than likely it was the assertion of a lie and not, I'm just asking fucking questions.
Then you just instantly with the alt-right. And it becomes, well, how do we get to that situation where politics is not only tribal, but it's puritanically tribal, and I'm sure the vast majority of the public are going, well, hang about, right? I'm supporting a bit of the lockdown, but I recognize some people are losing their jobs, especially in the entertainment industry and the hospitality industry.
Yeah, that's the two groups most average people worry about: the entertainment industry and the hospitality industry. and you notice that a lot of people who worry about that stay home and watch and binge watch shows instead of going to live performances because they like entertainment so much. And they care so much about the hospitality industry that they're shitty to waiters.
And I'm concerned for their lives too. How do we kind of have a bit more nuance? And also, the way in which the pandemic becomes almost like an untouchable now, especially for certain elements of the left, I find deeply, deeply problematic.
Oh, it's very problem. Yeah, especially. Yeah. Why can't we be a bit balanced in how we discuss things? You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, why can't we discuss the fact that the left became puritanical and shut you up and you never had any choice because you are being silenced? Why can't we have a nuanced conversation about this? Oi? Why can't we do that? Yeah? I don't know. My goodness. I've gone cross-eyed. Why can't we have a balanced conversation? Rusty Rimshot, tell us all about it. Jump in there.
Especially, as I say, because I think what their arguments they're presenting are not actually politics at all. They're deeply theological. So.
How would you make the distinction, please, between their argument being theological and political? To help me understand that, please.
Yeah. Well, I think in terms of...
Well, it's like when people put together an image and they shape that image to be sort of based on, the accepted idea of there's an image of people where they see what they must in their head. When you say Messiah, what image comes to mind? And it's the process of dressing and acting, visually in your movement, as much like that as possible to immediately jump straight to the center of psychological control over a total fucking stranger. It's a great trick, really.
The idea of the political is the political has to be always open to the possibility of new kinds of thinking. And it always...
Yeah. New kinds of thinking. That would be the hitch. Not the shit we've gone over already, like, hey, when there's an infectious disease and we got a lot of kids in school, maybe it'd be good if we had a vaccine, if everybody was able to, get that, so that when we intentionally gather all these kids together because it's the most efficient way to educate people, or if people want to go back to an office and they're cramped into a space and we know this disease lingers in the air for an hour after somebody has coughed it out and walked away, maybe, just maybe, that we should do something about that as a society, instead of like, I don't know about this whole science thing.
Has to be also, to me, my idea of the political also has to be transgressive. For it to be transgressive, it cannot be rooted in irrefutable morals, because we have no idea what the future is going to hold. I also...
Yeah. Yes, there's no such thing as irrefutable morals. I mean, if a president comes along and says, murder probably is the best way to solve our problems. Since nobody's articulated that in our country for, a couple of thousand years on the continent. Maybe not since the Mayans or the Aztecs, I suppose. At least they can...
believe that there's something about the idea of being transgressive which requires a certain outrageousness. I believe, and that's why...
No. Governmental management of the ordinary functions of society, which should be largely, most conservatives would argue, is what that should be confined to, and what most liberals and progressives would argue is the part that the government should handle so the rest of us can get on with it, is not radical and transgressive. I don't want radical transgressive roads or radical transgressive healthcare, for that matter. I mean, what's the argument here?
I think, the history of comedy and art is so important politically because of its transgressive, outrageous...
Ass kisser, by the way.
Outrageous potentials. And, I'm thinking then very much in the spirit of someone like Oscar Wilde, who really recognizes the beautiful poetic spirit of being outrageous, because it's only by taking those risks that you can be transgressive.
By the way, Rusty Rimshot, if you're watching this later on, he's mocking your outfit. He's trying to kiss your ass. But at the same time, he thinks like you're gesticulating wildly while you do like this and pretend to be a dumbass, but I'm just asking questions, and you're kind of hippie Ali G bullshit with your beard and your long hair and the drapey clothes and the fucking messianic prayer bead looking necklace is all part of an image you're selling, and he recognizes that it's a brand, and he's just fucking with you. Just so you know. I
see none of that in terms of the so-called theological elements of the left today, where to be outrageous is to be jumped upon, to say something.
All right. Is there anything? Has anything been said in this actual fappery at all? To be outrageous is to be jumped upon. Yeah, that's why they're jumping on people who are, it's not that Lauren Boebert is genuinely bigoted and is a hypocritical piece of shit who is loose with handguns and their use, which is a dangerous precedent to set as an elected official. It's not that. It's just she's outrageous. She's just crazy. It's just too wild. I can't, we're not against the fact that she's a fucking bigot. It's just she's loud about it.
Bit that goes against the grain of their absolute moral certainties is some.
Well, there is a absolute moral certainty that an elected official who represents everyone in a district, including the people that didn't vote for them, shouldn't be an abject bigot, for example. But I'm kidding. She's probably just being outrageous.
Which will be immediately the cause for, a major kind of reaction en masse by them on social media.
Yeah, it's like in their head, there's this giant chaotic image right behind their head that kind of points to the fact that they can't structure their argument or their ideas. Fucking hell. This is almost over.
And how that can be mobilized as much as it can be mobilized by the right. And I think what I understand by theology in that sense is a certain moral dogmatism, which is not open to the recognition that, yes, humans are fallible, but, there's something to be rejoiced in being kind of outrageous. And there's something to be rejoiced in terms of saying, well, actually,
Yeah, why not rejoice? Say what you will about the Nazis. Snappy dresses. Wouldn't you say, Brad? The fuck? Nobody has a problem with outrageous people. David Lee Roth is still on Twitter. You dizzy fuck.
We don't have the answers to the future, but actually, let's actually speak to people we might fundamentally disagree with, because then we might be able to work out this shared crazy thing called the human condition together.
Yeah, why don't we, I know it's not a good idea to gargle broken clamshells to cure a sore throat, but I'm sure if somebody brings it up, we should hear them out. You know what I mean? Because first of all, it'll be fun. It'd be outrageous.
Than being so certain about your place now in history that it doesn't entertain any alternative. And I think that to me is theology. That's not politics.
If you enjoyed that conversation between me and Brad, let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with Brad?
No. Hey, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to put a fucking comment in there because it wasn't a conversation, was it? Was it? You asked 2 fucking questions and then you fucking sat back and listened to whatever music on your fucking headphones the whole time, didn't you? There isn't a conversation. He kissed your ass, and you chose that clip because you fundamentally felt like he was shitting on all the right people, and you, like a coward, sat back and let it slide. You fucking panda.
Agree with me. What did we miss? How could we get deeper? If you enjoyed the conversation, consider subscribing to Luminary. You can get it.
No, I'm not going to do it. And secondly, tell us how we could get deeper is ridiculous because you're utterly, both of you, judging by the only clip you put forward, The two of you are incapable of depth. That was a bunch of fucking surface level horseshit. Good fucking God. What a waste of time.
On Apple, wherever you are in the world, or you can just download the Luminary app. Please do, if that's your thing.
No,
give this video a like if you enjoyed this conversation.
No, I'm not going to do either of those things. But you guys should give me a like, because I put up with this shit.
And there's more stuff like this available to you right here. Look at this little chica.
No, it isn't, fucko. You're on Rumble. You posted this up. The only thing that's up there is your nuanced statement about the left. Why can't we be more nuanced?
And please subscribe also to my Awakening side channel where...
No, I'm not going to. And just because you do coke around your fucking, 9 shots of espresso before you do the maybe try that with the actual podcast, and then in the little ad bump of shit you throw on these clips, maybe, maybe that's the one where you eased up on the throttle a little bit and bong it out.
Talk about well-being, personal development, how to cope with this world. Do you want to live off-grid? Do you want to create a new culture, a new community?
Do you want to live off-grid? As he says, posting his shit on Rumble. Do you want to live off-grid? That fucking pile of wood hasn't changed the entire time you've been doing this goddamn show. It hasn't. We've done like 2 clips. They're few and far between. But this fuckhead, that wood pile never changes. Live off grid. Gee, where'd you hear that from? Your butler?
Have a look at this little video. Sign up to my mailing list, please. It's just one click.
Dude, you're on Rumble. Cut this part out. Have a decent... There's no clickable link at all. Look. There's nothing. This is just ads and shit. For your own... Oh, what a fucking irritant.
Away, and if you want to see me live, you can. I'm in the UK, new day.
I don't. I'm passing. There's 3 seconds left. I don't need to do ads. I'm gonna... look. Russell Brand is carving out a financial corner for himself. And he uses I'm just asking questions, and I really just want the best for people. And it's the governments, it's systems that are the problem. Why don't we all just, turn off and tune out? And it's something, he's not going to do it. You do it. You do it. You go live in a tiny house. You live off grid. Tell me how that geothermal's working out in the fucking woods, yeah? I'll be in this relatively large-sized mansion with wood I would never chop myself because it requires physical energy. And I'll be here wearing a puffy hoodie and never skipping dessert. Look out, Alex Jones, I'm coming for you, and I've got more hair. Jesus Christ. Talking bollocks with Russell Brand, yeah. So, thanks, Rusty Rimshot, for a total waste of time. Okay, let's go to the ridiculous. Because we've got some, but I need to see and this may not be worth watching. It only got 309 rumbles. The anti-Facebook platform, MeWe founder. And by the way, is MeWe from like Mark Weinstein, and he just and the Maui doesn't work because it sounds like you're going to so MeWe so it's the anti-Facebook. There's gonna be an ad on this too, isn't there? The same fucking thing.
Hey everybody, stop clicking around. I am in the woods with some water going in the background.
No.
Earlier this week, my Facebook page got censored because I posted a meme that simply said that we need to stand for truth, even if it means stand
Oh. Yeah?
alone. We can't say stuff like that. That's dangerous.
I'm sorry, is that all it said? Is that how many people believe what they just heard? That there wasn't a picture of, somebody with a gun or with a January 6th, Biden regime is trapping true patriots picture in the background or some shit. Yeah, and an excellent point, V. Gabriel. Why are you bitching if you got to stand alone? Like, maybe they were just fucking with you. Here you go. Go stand alone on the internet, asshole. We might as well post. You've got to post even if there's no one there to look at it.
As disgusted as I am with far-left big tech companies like Facebook censoring what you can see, well, there is some good news. Mark Weinstein is...
Hey, Huckster, your audience was about to applaud and you stampeded over it. Maybe it's for time.
Founder, chairman, and chief evangelist of a next-generation social media platform who says that you and your data are not for sale. In fact, Mark Weinstein calls his MeWe social media network the anti-Facebook. I kind of like...
Oh, really? You know what? It's also the anti-Getter. Because if some of you recall, I posted a little chunk of the... well, let's see if I can scroll through and fucking find this thing. Because I had so many things and so much stuff and because let's see. I know I have a thing a doodle. It's a giant piece of stuff. Hold on one second. We'll just open this up and this guy right here. Okay, hold on. Boink. Take this out. This guy. Here you go. Remember this? Yeah, this is the Getter. This is a piece of the Getter terms of service. Apparently, Getter has more ability to sell your shit to whoever they fucking want than Facebook does or Twitter. So, but he's not going to say they're the anti-Getter. He's not going to say they're the anti-Parler.
That. His company's also been named one of the most innovative social media companies in the world and one of the best companies in America, period. Would you please welcome to the show, Mark Weinstein. Mark, good to have you here.
Yeah, it's the best company you've never fucking heard of. Has anybody got a MeWe account? Do I have to sign up for one?
Thank you.
Thank you. Great to be here, Mark.
Yes, he's so popular, he had to bring some friends with him. They're sitting right there on the couch. They're the wee-wees.
Thank you.
You are one of the pioneers in the use of the internet, and especially in social media. But there came a point at which you broke with a lot of the other people like Zuckerberg.
Yeah, totally. Social network built on trust, control, and love. First name, last name. Why do you need my last name? How come? Why do you need my last name? Email address, re-enter my email. You don't trust me? I thought you trusted me. Why do I have to enter it twice? We just met? You don't fucking trust me? Why do I have to type it in twice? What? I just think there's seriously a lack of trust. Password, at least 6 characters. And you don't trust anybody who's under 16? I guess this is trust, control, and love. So it's probably just to protect us against porn. I have read, understand, and agree to. Oh, so you just a checkbox? Privacy policy. Let's see what that is. And we'll see what the terms of service are. And this, I'm sure. Fascinating. Okay. Well, this is an act of trust. If you violate the terms of service, they can permanently cancel your account. Reserves the right to view private groups only for the purposes of fixing issues. Sure. To respond to complaints about terms of service violations or when required to do so by law. Okay, so they trust you, and they will let if the FBI asks MeWe to look at your posts in a private group, they're gonna let you. Just cause I'm proud to be Bringy Doogie Boo. MeWe reserves the ongoing right to view pages, select groups, open groups, and any groups in MeWe open group directory to assess compliance of the terms of service. So they can check your shit at all times. That's nice. We may suspend or terminate your account or cease providing you with all or part of the services at any time for any or no reason. Any or no reason. That sounds like freedom. Trust. Is this in the trust or freedom or love part? This is what was the first one? Trust, control, and love. I see. This must be the control part. That's a weird fucking built on trust, control, and love. Does that strike anybody else as really Orwellian? clear your cookies after you leave that site? No shit, Drew. Yeah, why do you have terms of service? Don't you trust us? While we have the right to monitor activity and content associated with MeWe, we're not obligated to do so. So we can look at your shit anytime we want, but you can't make us look at anyone else's shit. Hey, that guy over there is posting racist snuff films. Get rid of him. We don't have to look. But it's right there. Look at it. Nah, why not? Check your TOS. We do not guarantee the accuracy, integrity, or quality of any content submitted by users because community standards vary and individuals sometimes choose not to comply with our policy and practices. You understand that in the process of using MeWe, you may be exposed to content that you find offensive or objectionable in your communities. We do not endorse, support, represent, or guarantee the completeness, truthfulness, accuracy, or reliability of any content or communications posted. This is the zero indemnity part of this whole thing. Well, I don't know. Why would you suck horse paste? We didn't tell you to do it. And just in case you're wondering, this would be the Section 230 part of this. None of this is our fucking problem. But I'm sure he'll cover that.
You heard them say that basically nobody's entitled to privacy on the internet.
Oh, motherfucker. Seriously. Now, I jumped straight to the TOS a lot faster than we do, we normally do. But Christ almighty, they just jumped straight to the fact that this motherfucker, while we have the right to monitor activity and content associated with MeWe, that associated, by the way, what the fuck does associated with MeWe mean? You posted it here and you posted it somewhere else, so we have access to your other fucking account? And this motherfucker's gonna jump right out of the train yelling privacy on this. What? Oh, look at this. MeWe uses services of established third-party vendors for all payments and payment information. MeWe stores no payment information on its service and is not liable for any breach of payment information or loss that occurs with the payment vendor. So even we use these secondary because we're firewalling ourselves from any indemnity on all this shit. The illusion of privacy. But I'm sure, hey, maybe Russell Brand will do a video about this and go, oh my God, they're doing what with their terms of service? Fucking hell.
Like Mark Zuckerberg said, privacy is a social norm of the past. Wow. And as one of the early founders of social networking, I built one of the first ones in the 90s. When he said that, right at the 2010, 2011, it infuriated me. Like, because he wants to make money, he decides privacy is dead for the world.
Okay, first of all, he didn't say privacy is dead. This is not me defending Mark Zuckerberg, but let's be abundantly clear. Privacy as a social norm is a thing of the past, meaning that people are sharing more than ever, that TMI is dead. People are posting every aspect of their fucking lives all the time. It doesn't mean you don't have a right to privacy. It doesn't mean you can't keep some things private on your own. But if you're posting something, that's not privacy. And people are posting all kinds of shit. And the idea that you would keep the vast majority of facts about yourself genuinely, private from most strangers is true up until social media. In which case, anybody who reads your bio can know what your favorite fucking movie is, or your birth date, or what part of the country you live in, or all kinds of shit, whatever you choose to share. Where you might have over the time of conversation with some new person you became engaged with, it's not something you would just yell out in a fucking mall.
Privacy is a foundation of our democracy. It's a fundamental.
Privacy is a fundamental part of our our democracy. That's why we have the right to monitor activity and content associated with MeWe. And that we're not guaranteeing the accuracy because you may be exposed if we don't endorse stuff, content, or reliability of any content or communications posted on MeWe or endorse any opinions expressed. We may investigate the complaints of violation of our policies that come to our attention and may take any action we believe is appropriate, including, but not limited to, issuing warnings, removing content, or terminating accounts or subscriptions. We also, however, reserve the right to not take any action. Under no circumstances will be liable anyway for any content, including but not limited to any errors or omissions in any content, or any loss or damage of any kind incurred as a result. Do you think he had this on his first fucking site, by the way? Anybody? Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm sure that's the only... Oh, here we go. Your personal privacy and data privacy are very important to us. You are responsible for maintaining the confidentiality of your MeWe account information, including your username and password. You are responsible for all activities that occur under your MeWe account and agree to notify MeWe immediately of any unauthorized access or use of MeWe account. So if somebody broke into your account and you don't fucking know, the minute you find out, they knew, very possibly, but it's your responsibility. Not responsible or liable for any damage, loss related to any unauthorized access to your account. For more information on the importance and protection of your privacy, please see our privacy policy. Why don't we? We are uncompromising about trust, respect, and integrity. It says it right there. It must be true. Control. You own your personal information content. It is explicitly not ours. You've never received targeted third-party advertisements or targeted third-party content. We think that's creepy. You have full control over your news feed and the order of how posts appear. We do not manipulate, filter, or change the order of your news feeds. Only you can do that. That's true of most things. Permission and privacy are your rights. You control them. You control who can access your content. Let me guess. All of the privacy settings are automatically turned on, and you can turn them off if you want to. You have no responsibility to go comb through a bunch of settings and turn shit on. Yeah, you own your own content, blah, blah, blah. That's Facebook does the same thing now. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. We don't share your content with marketers, third party. Okay, fine. Tracking your privacy. We respect your privacy. We don't track you to sell your data to third parties, and we don't track you to manipulate your newsfeed, and we don't track you when you're not on MeWe. To ensure the safety and security of our users, we track how members use our site. We collect your log data, usage activity, email, phone number, cookie data, device network information to verify accounts, combat harmful conduct, detect and prevent spam, and to maintain the integrity of MeWe, which of course requires money. We may share and match. We don't track you to sell your data to third parties. No, we track you. We collect your data to maintain the integrity of MeWe, guys. That's what we do. We may share and match your information against databases or with third parties bound by confidentiality, so they won't tell you that we've done this, who specialize in identifying trolls, bots, scammers, spammers, fake accounts, stalkers, and illegal activity. We may also use your pattern to tracking to identify and remove disruptive elements such as trolls, bots, scammers, spammers, fake accounts, stalkers, etc. We monitor how to use our site in general so that we can make it better. We're monitoring traffic, usage activity, feature popularity, site performance, and we use general analytic tools. Service provider, cookies. Here's why. We use cookies on MeWe to make your experience better. We never use cookies for third parties to target you or market to you. Yes, we know this. Cookies on MeWe will let you log in and out of MeWe without needing to type your password. Cookies are another way to protect you from security risks. Let's see. Linking to third-party sites. These are your decisions, your identity. We protect it to the extent that the law allows. So it's all anonymous accounts on MeWe because it's all based on trust and love.
For being human.
So you created MeWe, and the difference is...
I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. Just the name MeWe in general it's wrong.
It's very similar, I guess, to Facebook or other social media platforms. People can go on and they can connect and communicate with others. Big difference, though. You don't collect all their personal data and then sell it off so advertisers hammer them every time they post something.
Exactly. Because nobody can target you on MeWe, Mike. We have no ads.
Yeah, this is just an advertising push for it. Now, the thing is all right, so is MeWe a free site? Positive sound, no ads, no spyware, fast, okay, no sale, trust, control, safety, positive connections, no ad, Get on there to provides an uplifting social experience. Frequently asked questions. What is MeWe? The politics of MeWe. How can MeWe be free? Yeah. So this is why MeWe doesn't have ads. MeWe is free forever because privacy is not something anyone should ever have to pay for. All the great features that people love in social media and none of the BS are free and standard on MeWe, including news feeds of your contacts and close friends. Of course, you have to upload those. Private one-on-one and group chats, private and open groups, following pages, disappearing content, stories, custom camera with GIF creation, next-gen voice messaging, personal cloud storage, custom group profiles, 2,800 plus emojis, MeWe's exclusive dual camera, and much more. That's in their app. In addition, there are optional enhancements, including extra storage. 8 gigabytes is free and equal to 16,000 photos, and 50 gigabytes is just $3.99 a month. Live voice and live video calling is $1.99 a month. Custom emojis and custom stickers are 99 cents per pack. MeWe pages are $1.99 a month, so people pay to have those on there. So if you want a business one, if you have a business page on Facebook, that's free. All right. Dark mode and other overlays, $1.99 and up. Exclusive MeWe journals, $1.99 a month. And a lot of fun stuff coming soon. Yeah, and we will not at all corral you into only being able to buy our shit. Members can also upgrade to MeWe Premium to get a bundle of the best ones for just $4.99 a month. A bundle of all the best premium features. Look at that. Bottom line, it's false myth that our data is what we give up to have a great social media experience. No, you have to give up your money. And you're paying for privacy. This is a gated community. This is not a social media network.
No amplification. There's no way someone can pay me to boost something into your newsfeed to manipulate your opinion, your purchase decision, your emotion. Nothing. Your newsfeed is pure timeline order, who you choose to connect with.
So how do you make money if you're not selling the advertising and do the same kind of things that Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey at Twitter? I mean, that's how they're making the dough. They're selling off the information. So
I love that.
You got to monetize it somehow. How do you do it?
Absolutely. Listen, we're great capitalists, right?
Yeah.
But Zuckerberg and those other guys practice surveillance capitalism. They spy on you to make money. That's wrong. So what we do is MeWe's free.
Well, they spy on whatever you post on that site. There is a distinct difference there. Because I've told you guys this before, but it's a good idea to lie to your social media sites every so often. Not necessarily in your posts, but in your bio stuff. Just put a bunch of bullshit. Nobody really reads that stuff anyways, and it will throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. And it's only as much information as you want to share and no more most of the time.
Forever. Everything you need to love the site is free. Social networking, everything you love. And we have a premium membership where we give you even more. Extra storage, extra features.
Extra banning of assholes.
Love it. And you support MeWe. So at MeWe, it's very simple. Our members are customers to serve and delight, not data to target, sell, or manipulate.
So if I'm a person on MeWe, if I want the premium...
Well, hold on. Not for everybody else. They are customers for you and only you to sell and manipulate.
I'm going to pay something for it. Very reasonable, very low cost.
$4.99.
And by the way, yes, he did say, I'm going to pay something for it.
All right. $99.
Yeah, $4.99 a month. That's it. At MeWe, we want to make sure everybody understands, our viewers understand. MeWe is free for everybody. Privacy is free for everybody on MeWe. The Privacy Bill of Rights on MeWe, it's automatic. If you want to help support MeWe, pay $4.99 a month and get some extra features. About 4% of our members pay for extra features. About 96% of our members use free MeWe. Everybody loves it. We got 500,000 reviews in the stores. Out of 5, our rating is 4.4 out of 5. Facebook's is 2.2 out of 5. What does that say? People love
That says they have billions of people, and in different countries, 1 star is good, and in other countries, 5 stars is good.
MeWe.
I think there's an incredible need for MeWe and social media platforms that don't censor.
Sorry, that's Yes, you're right. There's an incredible need for MeWe.
What I think. I mean, I'm outraged that Facebook thinks they have a right to tell me that my opinion, that is strictly mine, I don't pretend that it's someone else's, but that I can't say it because there's some 20-year-old kid sitting in his pajamas somewhere out in California who has decided that I shouldn't be saying that.
Well, they're watching Mike Huckabee.
Well, for the record, I don't know that was a 20-year-old kid in their pajamas in California, but it's nice to know that that's the mental image that comes into Mike Huckabee's mind whenever he feels slighted.
You're right?
Yeah.
So listen, let me ask you, did you incite violence?
No.
Did you post hate?
Of course not.
Was it doxing? Was
Of course not.
bullying? Was it porn?
None of the above.
So why is Facebook censoring?
Why? Here, I have a better question, Mark, if I may. Why don't you put the post on the fucking screen so the audience can see it? You've already introduced the fucking guy. Do that. If this even happened, by the way. Let's see. Huckabee. See if he, Facebook suspension warning, something like that. Facebook Trump suspension, but no. Facebook posted comment community college. Sarah Huckabee standards. Is this? I don't know if that. When is this? It's April 4th, 2021. Former Governor Mike Huckabee is slammed for his racist and anti-Asian tweet, claiming he will identify as Chinese to win favor with Coca-Cola, Delta, and Nike, while criticize Georgia's new voting law, but work with Beijing dictators. Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee is slammed on Twitter for an anti-Asian tweet. I've decided to identify as Chinese. Coke will like me. Delta will agree with my values. We appear to be referring to Georgia's new voting law while mocking those who oppose violence against Asian Americans. This is the tweet that he on Twitter, which was slammed. I've decided to identify as Chinese. Coke will have you definitely agree with my values, and I'll probably get shoes from Nike and tickets to MLB games. Ain't America great? Saturday morning. Okay, he does a lot of these kind of like low rent, incendiary ones. And usually they're pretty ham-handed like this. So no doubt people have, responded to this. I don't know if this was related to the one, but he said it was stand for something, even if you have to stand alone or something.
That's ridiculous. This is the United States of America. This is democracy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and why? And this is America, where if you're accused of something, you can, and you think it was wrong, you can always show what you did that got you accused of something and defend it right in front of your audience and the dude.
The principle of democracy is disagreement. That's the great aspect of our country and what we stand for.
Yeah, I don't know that they necessarily disagree with the quote. I'm pretty sure if I said whatever that quote he said earlier, you should stand for something even if you have to stand alone. Pretty sure any of us could type that on our Facebook page and it would be no problem. It might be the fucked up meme that came with it.
And it's always been that the antidote to speech that we don't like is speech that we do like. What's the reaction to MeWe? What kind of response are you getting? Because I have to think the more...
I would guess one of the big things that they're getting is change the fucking name. It's embarrassing.
People know about it. People are going to...
Yeah. I don't understand how it doesn't catch on. Hey, are you on MeWe? What? Are you on MeWe? The bathroom's over there, but you need a code. No. Are you on MeWe? No, I don't do drugs. What are you talking about? MeWe. Wigwam? No, MeWe. Pee-wee? I love that character.
What you're doing.
Well, here's the thing. Facebook, like they've done with all other competitors, has tried to muzzle conversations about MeWe on their platform. Facebook puts their members in jail when they talk about MeWe in Facebook jail. They censor the posts, like you get censored. Yeah. So despite that, and with no
citation needed
budget, we have almost 20 million registered users already.
That's great. Well, it's all the more reason.
Almost.
Thank you for creating an alternative and an option. I hope that you will learn more about Mark and the MeWe social media network. Here's how you do it. Go to Huckabee.tv. There is a link that will take you to MeWe. You can connect.
Hi. If you have to be told to go to Huckabee.com to sign up for a social media website called MeWe, and you don't go, oh, yeah, just Google MeWe, that's got to come up. Like, it's going to get lost. Don't get confused. There's dozens of social media platforms that call themselves some derivation of PP, MeWe, WeMe, WeWe.
All of our guests tonight, but certainly you want to connect to MeWe and sign up. And you, by the way, at Huckabee.tv, you can even rewatch every segment of every show.
Why the fuck would anyone do that? All right, so MeWe. All right, now there's we have to. I feel like we have to. Where is he?
Earlier this week, my Facebook page got censored.
Shut up! All right, now I have to switch over and grab a site real quick because we had. Where is it? People have been asking, so we're gonna go there. Our old friend Mike Pillow, who we all thought for a long time was a sad, gullible sap who, due to his previous addictions, had probably knocked a screw loose somewhere in downtown Minneapolis and never got it right again, and that he was just kind of a likable sucker and not a evil prick. Turns out, no, it's pretty much just a jerk.
Okay, a guy that cancel culture is looking to cancel Mike Lindell, but he's the armor-piercing.
Oh my God! Enough military bullshit right out of the gate. And secondly, all right.
Okay, a guy that cancel culture is looking to cancel Mike Lindell, but he's the armor-piercing shell. Just finished 96 hours over Thanksgiving.
No, he didn't. He did like 3 hours a day. And they played a lot of reruns, fucko. And secondly, cancel culture. Is no longer giving a fuck about someone technically cancel culture? Has it sunk so low? Are the standards so weak?
To lay out his case of why the 2020 election should be decertified. Mike, I want to go back. We're going to play more Kurt Olson tomorrow. There are nuggets in there. He's got 9 minutes where he walks through everything. Talk to us about where do you...
Yeah, there's a lot of nuggets.
AGs. That's what people want to know. And what were the highlights to you over the weekend?
Okay.
Yeah, tell us the names of the AGs that have signed on. That'll be a short segment. And then jump straight to what you thought were the highlights. Mainly the parts where you weren't on the air.
Geez, I've just now I'm going to reach back out because a lot of them asked remember to have till after Thanksgiving because they were working very hard on that that complaint they had to have in on November 23rd with the kids they have to take shots. We've got. I know there was over 10,000 emails sent out. I think the highest one I believe was Texas, was like 12,000. Over 200,000 emails. I want to thank everyone out there for doing that. And you can keep on that. Yeah. You go to Frank's Speech, click on the Supreme Court case. The case is right there. You can print it out, read it.
Yeah, that wasn't a bunch of bots fucking with your system at all.
And send an email to your AG in your state. One of the takeaways, Steve, is we have the Cause of America now, where I've become the hub. It's a group I have where we reach out. It's like a network coalition of every single grassroots state that's out there that wants to be on board, that's doing great things. So you might have a state down in, let's say, doing something in Nevada, and they don't know about a good thing going on up in Pennsylvania. So we're kind of like...
Oh, believe me, I'm down in Nevada, and I know about a good thing going on in Pennsylvania. Sorry. Memories like the corners of my mind. Thank you, Helium.
Voice of everybody. We're going to be like the voice of everybody, and best practices. We say, hey, what do you need down there? Do you need a canvassing crew? Do you need a cyber forensic people? Do you need lawyers? Do
you need anything at all?
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
So that was a great thing that came out, that we introduced the Cause America. I had all my people I've hired down there, and then the other thing was the way forward, the pathway forward with no machines. We have the replacement. It's this amazing process, and that's on Frank's Speech too. You can see we had Colonel Phil Waldron on there, and another cyber forensic guy, and actually another ex-colonel.
Here's a good idea. The fuck are you talking about? You're gonna replace? Wait, we're gonna replace the machines with this whole thing. Like what? Like generally, carrier pigeon? What in the world?
And so we had to walk us through. It's been looked at this. The way to do this, and Steve, I was blown away during that. I'm sitting there going, "This is why wouldn't we do this? Why haven't we been doing this?" And
why haven't we been doing this thing that I can't even describe in my rambling about it? Why don't we do the thing with the what is awesome? Where you put it's hard to, it's such a simple solution, and yet there are no words that can actually, how does he even, if you got, you put the thing in, and then the second one goes in there, and dear God, it's eating me. All right.
This way, but they said the more complexity you make things, the easier it is to steal or cheat. And that was an amazing, then I went through, and this is really important.
Yes, so wait a minute. No. What the fuck simple solution are you talking about that you can't even articulate the simplicity of? If it's too complicated, people, I mean, you grasp, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You of course know what I'm saying. Where it's a system that's, I don't even know why we haven't been doing this all along. Doing what? I don't know. I can't even describe it. But
one of my highlights was yesterday. And if you look on there, it's labeled, it says, "Speak up now." It's labeled on Frank's Speech, "Speak up now, or we will lose it all." It talks about where...
I'm sorry. Speak up now, and we will lose it all?
Highlights was yesterday, and if you look on there, it's labeled, it says, "Speak up now." It's labeled on Frank's Speech, "Speak up now, or we will lose it all." It talks about...
Oh, okay, that's great. It sounds like a great plan. Speak up now, and we will lose it all. All right, let me see. Frank's Speech. Speak up. I'm trying to remember this. Speak up now, and we will lose it all. Let's see. I'm going to try to find that. Here we go. Oh, look, they're selling pillows. Oh, here it is. I see. Well, that can't be it. That's something else. That says speak up. Michael and L. Warren, speak up now, or we will lose it all. That's not, the solution to replace the voting. Oh, this is the solution. What could possibly be simpler? And it's so simple.
Hey, one of the moments we've all been waiting for. This is where we're going to show you not only the problems with the machines, and we're going to show you the replacement of them.
Hold on. This audio will make a lot more sense if I do this.
Of the whole system. We have. Do we have Colonel Waldron do we have Colonel Waldron on the screen? Is he standing by?
Yeah, I'm standing by.
Okay. Why don't you bring him up on the screen? I'll introduce him.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Colonel.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
Good. I'm going to say who you are. I got. This is Colonel James Waldron. He's a USA retired, served in the United States Army for 30 years, and a decorated combat veteran. He also
get
in this cyber field, and by just all the investigating, all the stuff you've seen now.
their elected officials, and we are a republic. We are a republic. That means the country is governed by elected representatives and elected leaders. If we don't have elections, we don't have transparent elections, we don't have fair elections, or one.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. I'm glad we got past all that. This is the part that, I mean, that's an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not doing that today. Although now that they've cut it up in pieces, it's actually got it'd be a good time. Pause. Turn this up. This is speak up now or we lose it all. This is the whole.
It's been a long week, and this is going to be a very important hour for me. It's in light of what you're seeing all over the news about what I feel. I have such mixed emotions. I reacted out of frustration. I reacted. Anger. It came across.
This is where he was on some Christian network and he shit all over the hosts.
Not how.
Also, I know some of you are like, we've seen this before. Haven't we seen this? He mentioned this. He said this almost exactly the same as he said it before. And ultimately, it was Brandon House who was there. Everybody's one. Like, seriously, hold on. Oh, quit it. I will say this is kind of aggravating. You can't hit play pause.
To come across. And I have, and I want to get to this hour or whatever it takes to show you the biggest obstacle we have to lose our country. And this is Sean Smith. Sean's president of what we're telling you about a little later, the Cause of America, which we've been showing you the pieces all day. When we get done with this hour, then we're going to have more of the grassroots videos.
Hey, son, spit it the fuck out. I ain't got all day. I mean, you might look at me and think, this guy's got all day. I ain't got all day. I got a lot to do. I'm a busy fucker, all right? Believe it or not, I have a dentist appointment.
And tell you all about the Cause of America. We're going to take that all the way to midnight. And we're going to take calls later on from everybody. But
wait a minute. You taking calls after midnight? Shit, do this, son. I'm on night shift tonight, and they got a long distance plan at the toll booth where I work. It's a lot of fun. I work at it. Most people don't know this. I moonlight at a toll booth on a road no one uses. It's good, because occasionally a car will come down there with one person in it. And then I tell them to take a side road, and then they roll back nearly out of gas, and then they go, can you help me? I'm lost. I go, yeah, I would glad. Hey, tell you what, let me hop in there with you, and I'll show you where there's a gas station. They have not found one of those people yet.
Right now, one of the things we've been talking about, what are the pieces we need to move forward? And we have the grassroots. We have the plan to replace the machines. We have a Supreme Court complaint.
Got everything.
We have.
You got some. Hey, you got some of that outhouse wallpaper you're passing off as a Supreme Court case.
More evidence than we've ever needed of anything in history.
Yeah, basically, you could convict OJ with what's in that document right there. Unbelievable. Why don't you got to get a copy of that thing down to that Arbery thing. You probably get those files. You got more evidence of everything than anyone ever. You could put everyone in America in jail all the time.
But what we don't have right now is a big enough voice. I know.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You don't have a big enough voice. You don't have a big enough voice. I mean, think about it. You got your own network, 2 of them, that you can air shit 24 hours a day. You can show up on Steve Bannon's show all the goddamn time. You're on Getter and Parler and Telegram, and you're a millionaire, and you can't get heard. It's impossible. How do you do? It's like no man has been denied rights more than a man with his own plane and a giant studio in the back of his pillow factory. This is freedom. That's what's happening. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna hurt my cheeks smiling too much. His fecus.
Where we are with the media. When you just have the great war room here, your audience, Steve, and our audience of Frank Speech, there's not much out there that's but we've been growing, we've been getting bigger and bigger. But we now huger and huger. Like Steve Bannon's war room has grown by like dozens over the last couple months. I mean, I don't know if you maybe you guys don't believe this, but it is absolutely true. Steve Bannon's show is the fastest growing, and Mike Pillow has, I mean, everything he's done. I mean, people love that stuff. They watch it again and again. People are just now starting their third watching of the 96 hours. That's honest to God. They are, seriously. This is the truth. Have the leverage to be able to go, hey, over there, I called out Salem Media and I said, you guys need to start reporting things. There was a gal, Sharona Bishop, as you know, where they bashed her door in by the FBI, pulled her daughter down the stairs by her hood and handcuffed her. I spent all the time there, and then they unhandcuffed her and walked away, didn't charge her with anything. This is going on in our country, and I said this. Yeah, that happens, by the way. If the police come in there and they've got a search warrant, and you're like, I'm not going to let you in my room, and then they're going to go, no, we have a search warrant for the whole premises. You can't go in my room. Well, we're going to have to take you down here and cuff you while we do the fucking search. And then when we're done, if you don't attack anyone, we'll uncuff you and go back about it. Like, who the fuck doesn't know this? This morning, the bigwigs at Salem, and they said, well, we didn't know about it. Of course we would report it. Well, what's happening is they get their news from other news outlets. So if you don't hear, if they're blocking it at that level, that's horrible that they're blocking it. News outlets like Salem that wants to talk about it, but they can't because they're looking for someone else to report it first and validate it. Oh, I see. So it's Salem can't report stories unless other people report stories because that's how the right wing operates. They can't be the first person to tell about what the you heard it some fucking where.
The Sharona, Mike, the Salem guys are lying to you. The Sharona Bishop thing was everywhere. Everybody is focused on this at all. Anybody on the right knows the work you guys have done in Mesa County, the heroism you showed to support
the heroism. You're a goddamn hero, son. The way you stayed in Minnesota and bitched on your network. That's the kind of thing. Screw the guys at Iwo Jima. Battle of the Bulge, my ass. Which actually, coming from Steve Bannon, actually makes sense.
Star mother, who's a hero, Tina Peters, and brought her to the Cyber Symposium. Everybody on the right, everybody that even would think about, I even say people in the center that would think about voting for Trump. People that didn't even vote for him know about what's happening out in Colorado. So I'm not buying that. The thing is, they don't want to report it because it makes them uncomfortable. And that's why we need heroes, guys like.
That's right. They don't report it because it makes them uncomfortable to report lies that are demonstrable that can get their license taken away. It's just cowardice.
You're the armor-piercing shell, and there are very few people like.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I look at this guy. The armor-piercing shell. Fucking dude, you're not a pie in the face.
Out there, they have the courage to do it. They have the courage of their convictions. A lot of people are looking for the easy way out. So that's I'm not buying it. And what you've done to support Tina Peters and that crew out there because they're under assault. FBI's battering down their doors, intimidating their kids, all of it.
No, they aren't. They are absolutely not. And fuck you. They had a search warrant for Tina Peters' house, and they knocked, and they were let in.
It's horrible, but it's not even out there. Like, I learned something in the Supreme Court case we have. I learned 3 things. Do you know that just in 3 states, let's take Arizona. So here's Arizona. They have enough from that audit to pull down their electors. All they need is the Senate to go in and vote to pull them down. 1 Republican is obstructing that. Then you go to Wisconsin, Steve, and in Wisconsin, they've already got their press felony charge against the WEC, and right there they have a Republican that's went and said, let's pull down the electors. He only needs 1 other person to put it on the floor and pull it down. Then you go over to Pennsylvania. I want everybody to know this is really interesting. In here, in the Supreme Court case, and in Pennsylvania.
By the way, the idea that there's 1 knucklehead per state, and that's indicative of this asshole thinking he's going to pull down the election and reverse the electors and decertify an election where the president has already taken an oath so that they can go back and have another election where I presume would be next year, and Nancy Pelosi will be president until such time.
Yeah, they have a law there that if you have more votes than voters, it's illegal to turn in your electors. What a law. Isn't that something, Steve? If you have more votes than voters.
So amazing. So amazing.
It's almost like they didn't. They didn't.
Tough to certify. Mike, we got to bounce, but we're going to have you got to be back on.
Yeah, Mike, we'd love to keep talking to you about this whole thing, but by God, there's so much that you needed to sell us something real quick on your way out the door.
To break down the 96 hours to bite-sized chunks.
Yes,
particularly, you've hit on something as you always do, a machine-free future. Right?
Yes.
A machine-free future.
Yes. He's going to start the Luddite party. He and Andrew Yang are going to start a third party where the votes are counted by banging rocks together. Excuse me. I had a sneeze sneaking up on me, and I thought I could get it out before then.
Get back to paper. So the 96 hours was absolutely amazing. Have you gotten any rest at all, sir?
Well, we got...
By the way, says the guy who looks like he slept on his face last night.
I took everybody home last night all over the country, and I landed back in my home state of Minnesota 8 o'clock this morning. We flew all night. We ended the marathon at 1:30 in the morning. We went a little over. That's up there too. I actually led everybody in prayer. That was pretty cool.
We'll see you tomorrow, Mike. We got to get you back on.
Jesus. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Lead in prayer. Something about that. Anyways, bullshit. Bye. Ugh, God. Ugh. Now, this is the title of this one is particularly humorous. Hannity, by Biden's own statements, he should call on himself to resign. He should call on himself to resign. He should call on himself to resign. I understand what he's trying to say, but I also understand that he can't fucking talk. It's not like he does it for a living, so I wouldn't feel too bad about that. But promises not kept, and this nod and nod and nod, and so to have this like stamp over that, and they go around like finding all the. I think they send Steve Ducey to ask questions of Biden just so they can get him going, what the fuck? So that they can take a picture of him as Ducey's asking his douchey question. And then they take the picture of him looking at Steve Ducey and going, what? Fuck is the matter with you? And then they go, look how confused he is. Yes, because he's talking to someone from your network. Dumb.
Simply turn the page. We have not. Our count from Afghanistan, sadly, it continues.
Americans held
hostage behind enemy lines. Day 107, it's happening. Here's a painting of some people
behind enemy lines. Day 107.
Ever think this?
Dude, the guy who's doing the voiceover, did no one tell him this wasn't a contest? Day 107.
Happened, abandoning Americans behind enemy lines, 107 days. We abandon our fellow Americans. It's 120 days since Joe promised to leave no American behind. He clearly lied to the entire country. Sadly, dishonesty is the prevailing theme in this Biden administration. Joe promised you could trust his word as a Biden. In reality, nothing could be further from the truth. Now, just take a look at his handling of COVID-19. On the campaign trail, Joe
Insider. Biden said he would shut down the virus, not the country, during the final presidential
debate. To quote, shut down the virus, not the country. Really. But tonight, more Americans, we can report, sadly, have died from COVID-19 under Joe Biden's watch in 2021 than under Donald Trump in 2020. And by the way...
Hold on. COVID deaths, USA. Okay, we are currently at 777,000. And let's see. It is all time. Deaths already in the United States. Okay, that's their CDC COVID tracker. March, February, October. Let's see, all time. Okay, so this is March, February 28th. Here we go. Test taken. Oh, that's tests. Hold on. Hospitalizations, vaccinations. Let's see. Coronavirus. And then going to get case by. Let's see. I'll just look up more dead 2021. Whoops, continues good. Okay. 2021 death toll in U.S. eclipses that of 2020 with more than a month left to go. This is what they're talking about, by the way. Tuesday, there's more deaths related to COVID in 2021 than in 2020. At the end of 2020, 36,208 Americans lost. Let's see. Yesterday, the pandemic toll was 773. When was this date? This was November 24th. Okay, cool. This means so far in 2021, America has seen 411,571. By the way, in 2021, the first month, by the way, being till the 20th, of course, those are still under Trump, for the record. And there's still 5+ weeks. The daily deaths, that 1,000, another 40,000 souls could be lost before January 1st. Let's see. Hold on. The timing of this and the shift of where they are too. Let's see, more deaths related to COVID than in 2021. Let's see, 2021 COVID death tolls eclipse, and this is the part of this. Hold on, 1 second. Bring up that's the same article. Okay. At the end of 2020, meaning, and by the way, I'm assuming they mean December 31st, but we'll go with that one. 362,208. I'm guessing he doesn't want to. Let's see. How do you put this? It probably doesn't want me to do this. Hold on. U.S. COVID death toll. Jan 31. Or sorry, let's just go to the 20th. Now, never mind that the president couldn't actually make Jan 21, 2021. Okay, day by day. Okay, here we go. See more data. 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 It's gonna be a long one. Show. Let's see. I've got to find one site that shows me the. There we go. In the United States. Okay, here we go. Continue to site. Okay. Coronavirus. There we go. 392,428 as of January 20th. That's the day that Biden was sworn in as president of the United States. And so 392,428, which was a huge ramp up from the date that they were talking about. 362,208. So this number will get eclipsed if we lose 40,000 more souls as they're planning, because they're expecting. We will, you'll just clear it. If you lose 40,000, then that will be true. So there's a reason why he's enjoying this part. We've eclipsed this date, even though he's acting as if Biden was president as of January 1st.
Another variant is on the way. Now, this despite Joe inheriting not one, not two, but 3 vaccines, therapeutics like monoclonal antibody treatments that he's only mentioned one time. He got that from the Trump administration, Operation Warp Speed. And now more.
God damn it. He's got it. Of course he has to do that. Hold on.
Captain's log.
Okay.
And 350,000 Americans have died from the virus.
COVID deaths this year have now surpassed the toll in 2020, with 350,000 since Inauguration Day. Wall Street Journal. COVID deaths this year have now surpassed 300. Okay, so the total was 350. So this is why the number is exciting for Sean Hannity. The 350,000 of the 350,000. Now, going by the medical economics page, which is Money Digest, Physicians Financial News, Physicians Practice, and Chief Healthcare Executive magazine, read by hospital people, the number on January 20th was 392,428, by the way. Now, that's a revised number because they're using the number that we now know as opposed to the deflated numbers of the Trump administration. Let's see. Trump admin down. Let's see. Undercounting COVID deaths. Undercounting of COVID-19 deaths is greatest in pro-Trump areas, analysis shows. Tens of thousands of COVID-19 deaths are going unreported in the U.S., with far more missed in counties that strongly supported former President Trump, according to new research. The figures suggest that political leanings have helped suppress the true scale of deaths. In cases where the deceased didn't have a COVID-19 test, a coroner or medical examiner has the freedom to interpret symptoms. It's a potential latitude to make a judgment call on condition on a set of beliefs about COVID and whether it represents a serious problem or a hoax. More than 413,000 people have died in the U.S. with COVID-19, attributed somewhere on their death certificate. The real death toll is reflected in the number of excess deaths in 2020 compared to the annual deaths of 2013 to 2019 is even higher. A separate study led by Stokes of 787 counties with more than 20 COVID deaths from February 1st to October 17, 2020 found that while there were 199,124 official COVID deaths in the same period, an additional excess 88,142 deaths were not attributed to the virus. Some of these excess deaths are likely due to factors that were exacerbated by the pandemic, such as overdoses, suicide, and response to isolation. But researchers believe that many are COVID-19 deaths that go uncounted. Overall, the true COVID death toll is 44% higher than the official figures, according to the study, which was submitted to PLOS Medicine. Here you go. Most urban deaths assigned to COVID-19. Most excess death not assigned to COVID-19. 0.1%. Mixed. These are, suburbs. Look at that differentiation. It's starting to grow. Look at the rural areas. Nobody's fucking dying of COVID out here. He fell under a tractor while coughing. We see a lot of variation in excess deaths, and it's kind of hard to explain. Another researcher on the study and a senior policy advisor for the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, there seems to be correlation between areas that were less inclined to take COVID-19 seriously and adopt preventative measures such as mask wearing and social distancing, and those with higher levels of unrecognized COVID-19 deaths. All right. Not all of them can be related to the COVID. There we go. So not only is the number that Sean Hannity is floating bullshit at 392, this is the Wall Street Journal editorial board's number, by the way, on Inauguration Day, which is a full 42,000 lower than the official count They just rounded it down to the nearest 350,000. All of it's all the excess deaths, of course. Let's see, the undercounting. Let's look at this. There you go. This is here you go. USA Today from January 17th. Blood on his hands says U.S. surpasses 400,000 COVID-19 deaths. Experts blame Trump administration for a preventable loss of life. January 17th, 2021. See that? Updated the 19th. So this is the day before. 400,000. They're down counting by 50,000 people. I mean, it's just 50,000 Americans. Who gives a shit? They're just your fellow Americans. U.S. it crossed a somber threshold Tuesday. Yet another reminder of how poorly the world's largest economy has fared during the coronavirus pandemic. COVID-19 death toll was 400,022, according to the Johns Hopkins University Board. This is their coronavirus resource center.
Total deaths worldwide, U.S. 28-day case rate, 48 million cases, 780,000. Let's see, that's Germany. This is their weekly case rate. Okay, so this is going to go through cases, deaths. Russia's 1 million. Yeah, so this has got to be day 28. This cases. Yeah, deaths by. Let's go to deaths is down here now. Yeah. 780,041. There you go. Last I checked, 400,000 is more than half of 780. And they need this fake number by the end of the year. Like they give a shit about any of these people, by the way.
It's Joe's inauguration day. Now, according to Biden himself, circa 2020, he, based on his own definition, should now resign in a complete disgrace. This is what Joe said.
220,000 Americans dead. If you hear nothing else I say tonight, hear this. Anyone who's responsible for not taking control, in fact, not saying I take no responsibility initially, anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America.
Well, based on Joe's statement, he should not remain the president of the United States. 350,000 dead Americans on his watch. And by the way, per usual, he was lying.
They are all primarily Trump voters. Literally, the difference year to year is incredible as far as who's dying from this. And also, anybody notice that he left out? He didn't seem to bother the whole "I take no responsibility" or that factor that Biden put in there. That somebody would oversee those deaths and go, "I take no responsibility for that." Where Biden came in, "I take responsibility for this circumstance," and he's been doing everything he can since he got in to get people to take the vaccine and to take special care when they go out. And meanwhile, most of these deaths are Trump related.
Political gain. Of course, he spent most of the campaign hiding in his basement bunker in the candidate protection program. And just like his racially charged lies about President Trump's travel ban, oh, get this. He called Trump's initial travel ban 10 days after the first identified.
I'm sorry, did he call it that? Because your own website says he suggested it was xenophobic, when in fact he refers to Trump as a xenophobic person and says that it's probably not best if this is the kind of decisions we're making.
Case of coronavirus in America, it was hysteria, xenophobia, fear-mongering. He tweeted that banning travel from any other part of the world will not stop COVID-19. And in response to the former president's...
It didn't.
ban on certain African countries. Biden released this statement. He said Trump further diminished the U.S. in the eyes of the world by expanding his travel ban. This new African ban is designed to make it harder for black and brown people to immigrate to the United States. It's a disgrace. We cannot let him succeed. Well, guess who just implemented a brand new African ban? Joe Biden. That's right. Joe just banned travel from multiple African countries over fears surrounding what is the new.
Oh yeah? The South African variant. And by the way, is this the same? Hold on. We have to back up and check this out. Bum, 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 ha. All right. Back here. Give me 1 second. There you go. Back up. February 1st, 2020. Feb 1 African Feb 1 African ban and travel ban. Oops. Trump. Oh, I see. See, Sean, I know. This is let's see. When was this article? January 31st, 2020. So Biden's response would be this one. Now, was this about a variant of the COVID disease that was specific to a certain area? Or was this just him not wanting those people to come in? Does this have anything to do with a temporary ban of travel until we know more about a particular infectious disease? Or is it something else? Trump administration adds 6 countries to travel ban. Nigeria, as well as Myanmar, Eritrea, Kyrgyzstan, Sudan, and Tanzania to his restricted travel list. President Trump on Friday added 6 countries to his list of nations facing stringent travel restrictions, a move that will virtually block immigration from Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria, and from Myanmar, where Muslim minority is fleeing genocide. Besides Nigeria, 3 other African countries, Eritrea, Sudan, and Tanzania, will face varying degrees of restrictions as will one former Soviet state, Kyrgyzstan. Myanmar's Rohingya Muslims could be caught in the crossfire. All 6 countries have substantial Muslim populations. The total number of countries now on the restricted travel list stands at 13. This was not related to COVID. This was not temporary. This was meant to keep people out of the country because of where they were coming from. Just fuck off. Has nothing to do with COVID. Nothing. And the issue, let's see, the Biden South Africa travel yeah, there you go. This is what they're talking about. And by the way, this is not a picture of Joe Biden, by the way. Biden restricts travel from South Africa and 7 other countries starting Monday. Announced Friday that restrict travel from South Africa and 7 other countries starting as Monday as a new coronavirus variant has emerged. Acting on advice from the nation's top infectious disease expert, Fauci, and the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the Biden administration will restrict travel from South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, and Malawi. Biden on Friday night signed the official proclamation restricting travel of those physically present in the countries during the 14-day period preceding their entry or attempted entry into the United States. So this is if you travel through there and you bounce through any of these countries. This isn't about the citizens of those countries. This is a travel about this directly about contagion. The proclamation includes a list of those exempted from the new restrictions, including U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, and non-citizens who are the spouses of citizens or permanent residents. Do you think any of those? That you think the non-citizens who are spouses or citizens with permanent residence, you think those were included in the Trump ban from February 1st, 2020 that had nothing to do with COVID? No? You don't think that? I wonder why. It will. It says it will remain in effect until terminated by the president. Will not apply to any flight scheduled to arrive in the U.S. Established on Monday. So it will basically start on Monday night. The decision to restrict travel comes as the federal government is still attempting to learn more about the new variant named Omicron. Omicron. They need to see more sequencing, but after discussing what they've seen so far, officials decided to halt the travel from these countries out of the concern about what they don't know. He told reporters later Friday of the decision, "I've decided we're going to be cautious. We don't know a lot about the variant, except that it is a big concern and seems to spread rapidly. And I spent about a half hour this morning with my COVID team led by Dr. Fauci. So that was the decision we made." Officials say the policy was implemented out of an abundance of caution, given the World Health Organization has now identified it as a variant of concern. Our scientists and public health officials are working quickly to learn more about this. They're in contact with this. Quick timeline has to be done, blah, blah, blah. We remain in communication with the U.S. government, buying time. And travel restrictions will buy the U.S. federal government more time to investigate the new variant, officials say, but not much. Inside the government, it is seen as inevitable that the new variant will appear in the U.S. at some point, but the new restrictions could give federal health agencies and their global counterparts time to look. Right. Officials, let's see. And Biden said, right now we're getting the material together for our South African colleagues to get the situation where you could actually directly test it. I want to find out if it evades the vaccines. And then Biden, and let's see if I can find this other thing right here. Biden will evaluate travel restrictions on Southern Africa week to week. So they're basically doing this for a week, and then they're going to look at it at the top. Oh, quit it. Go away now. All right. So difference between the things that Sean Hannity does not want you to look at is that Trump's was just for the fuck of it, and Biden's is a temporary one, week to week, while we get a handle on whether or not Omicron is dangerous. Canada has one, Europe has one, everybody knows it. There's no way to compare these two quote unquote travel bans. Like any idiot can spot this. Even Hannity.
Disgrace. We cannot let him succeed. Well, guess who just implemented a brand new African ban? Joe Biden. That's right, Joe.
For a week, because of a contagion, followed by another week. And by the way, it has nothing to do with Africa per se. You can't even fly through the fucking place. And nobody, I don't know. I was about to say, does anybody think Trump thought people would catch black while flying through Africa on a layover? But then that seems like a xenophobic fear that Trump might have.
Ban travel from multiple African countries over fears surrounding what is the new Omicron variant. So is Joe Biden lying and playing the race card for political gain? Or is he a hysterical, xenophobic, fear-mongering, racist disgrace of a human being? It's either one or the other, Joe. Now, tonight, Biden's dishonest.
Yeah, because it couldn't be actual concern over the variant that would spread faster than even the Delta, which is part of the concern, and kill more Trump supporters than Delta already has. This, honest to God, what does Hannity do at the end of his show? Does he just go dance on the graves of dead Trump supporters?
See his hypocrisy. It doesn't end there. Frankly, Joe, and Fauci's face mask charade is hard to track. First it was, well, masks don't work. Maybe it'll stop one little droplet. Then it was one mask, then two masks, then it was masks.
Then it was a study in June that said actually masks do help. And even though the particulates of a particular disease, while they can pass through it if you just kind of breathe it in, the droplets that would carry more of it don't get into your system if you're wearing a mask. And the amount of virus you're exposed to directly impacts the expectation about hospitalization and death and whether your system is overwhelmed by it or not. But who gives a fuck? These are just more dead Trump supporters. Honestly, why do I care more about maggots than Sean Hannity does? Because I got news for you. Trolls, I know you're watching. I know you tune in every so often to hate watch me or something, and we appreciate it. We really do. You drive up our CPM. But I don't want you to die. I don't want you to get sick. I don't want you to have, long COVID and just fucking stay healthy. If you don't want to get vaccinated, I can't talk you into it, but stay the fuck away from people that might give it to you because it shrinks your gray matter. It might actually make you permanently ill. There's a lot to this that's very dangerous. So the idea that this asshole wants to just kind of shrug off. I mean, most of the deaths are all happening in red states and rural communities, but fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, do we need them?
Indoors, but not outdoors. Then it was vax or mask. Then it was vax and mask.
Yes, Indoor and outdoor are two totally different fucking things. If you don't believe me, go to a hurricane and wear a hat. In which area is it easier to keep it on your fucking head, Sean?
Vax, mask, and booster, and probably booster after. First, we will never, ever mandate. No. Now the mandates. And breaking earlier, a federal judge blocked by...
Hey, fucko. It's a testing mandate.
Vaccine mandates in the first 10 states to sue his administration. That's another loss in the courts for Joe Biden. Today, more mixed messages from Biden.
I'm sure he's just grinding about it. Just a loss in the courts. Oh, dear God. Yeah, I would put that right up there with Trump's losses in the courts currently.
Implored all Americans to wear masks indoors, and then he sauntered right back into the West Wing, mask-free. You can't make this up. Take a look.
I encourage everyone to wear a mask when they're indoors in a crowded circumstance like we are right now, and unless you're eating or speaking at a microphone. Thanks.
Like, where's your mask? They're going to yell at him about it. His mask is inside. And everyone around him is... none of us live like the president lives, but never mind the fact that they don't really give a shit.
And then later in the day during...
Thanks, somebody handed him a mask when he was done speaking. And like, here's your mask, sir. He's got a body man. And...
a meeting with business leaders, Biden did have a mask on, but he wore it around his chin. That wouldn't be too helpful over the holiday.
Well, he was eating or speaking. Did you hear? Sean, have you been lobotomized recently? Eating or speaking? Did you hear that? He's speaking at a microphone. Do you see that thing? You're in the broadcasting profession, aren't you, Sean? See that thing right there? See that See that standard that he established in the other clip you chose to show? See that thing? All right.
Weekend, Biden was spotted inside a crowded store in the prestigious island of Nantucket, shopping mask-free, despite, you can see right there's Joe, and there's the sign on the front door reading, face covering required. So I wonder if Joe's going to be cited for breaking Nantucket's mask mandate, or, of course, he's a Democrat.
He was probably asked to leave the store. Now, when he comes into Fox News and you guys have a vaccine mandate, I'm sure he'll show his card and you guys will go, no, we don't need to see that. It's a violation of your HIPAA.
Rules shouldn't apply to him, right? Now, tonight, maybe we should cut Joe a break. After all, he's really struck.
Oh, by the way, this is the Sean Hannity moment where he wants to remind you that it is his belief that Biden is failing mentally and can't speak.
Free health care for illegal... Look, to me, Corona means Italy. Action replays in magnified fashion.
But the struggle is real.
With his memory. By all accounts, Joe Biden is a complete cognitive mess. There's no more ambiguity. There's no more debate. The evidence...
Well, I mean, there would be some ambiguity in the fact that he gets through entire speeches and recalls situations with some of the people there that they used to do stuff back in the day when he was in the Senate and the House, and he tells side stories about stuff that would require recognition of faces and familiar people, the ability to tell related stories to those circumstances, and then, of course, memorize parts or all of a speech and then read it off a teleprompter at the same time. But, granted.
Action replays in magnified fashion. They do action replays in magnified fashion. First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force. For Iowa values.
That's how you pronounce Iowa.
For right? Iowa values. So we're going to get it going to a level that nobody can ever turn course on us. Nobody can ever change. Winston Churchill stood on the rooftops in London, very calm, making speeches. Winston Churchill.
Yes. One thing you could say about Joe Biden is he's never confused Winston Churchill with Mary fucking Poppins.
And today his struggles continue. Take a look.
As we enter the month of December, this month, compared to where we were last September, last Christmas. Questions?
Hold. What the fuck's wrong with that? That is a man speaking. I mean, granted, he doesn't have the ability to speak, off the cuff.
Michigan gave us Motown. Gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
You know what I mean? With that flourish or whatever. Or, when they're talking about serious issues, I'm sure he flails
We're
about...
going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Wait a minute. Sorry. I know I have a Biden thing in here somewhere.
Yosemite.
No, okay, maybe not. Perhaps, I don't know. I wonder how the Nicaraguans feel.
A lot of very bad things are happening in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
If you get it in order, you get extra points.
And then, of course, if you don't believe me, you can always ask Mike Pence's wife.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Should Americans be worried, sir?
Let me call on Nancy Bloomberg. Let me call on Alexis.
Alex? We've got two Alex.
Alex of Reuters.
Yes.
And so the other Alex doesn't have a heart attack. I want to call on him. Is it
Mr. President, two female Alex.
Yeah, no, I'm not an Alex, but I'd love to ask one question. And then the other Alex.
Okay, let me ask the other Alex and then you.
This is beyond.
Yeah, what's honest to God? He has a list of reporters. They're all sitting in a wad. He doesn't know who they are personally. So he's like, there's two Alexes here. Which one? One's an Alexandra and one's an Alex guy. And which one am I asking first? Because it just said Alex on the page because the girl likes to be called Alex instead of Alexandra. Like, what the fuck?
Embarrassing. It is humiliating.
I do not have where's my African American, Carta. I'm sorry, I can't draw that up. Or Tim Apple, I suppose. Did he call the people Alex Apple?
For the entire country. And frankly, it is also now extremely dangerous as every one of our enemies, every hostile regime on this.
Seriously, honest. Okay, fuck off. Let's both watch that again. Can we just eat a bag of frog assholes, Hannity? This is what he's come away with. There's a whole speech on the economy and all this other stuff. It's fucking Christmas. He's got two clips, and one of them is like a stutter in the teleprompter, and he fixes it and then just kind of solves it. But
month of December.
By the way, at no point this December versus when we went to Christmas last year, which is what it says on the teleprompter more than likely from what he's saying. But let's be abundantly clear. At no point during this, as far as what I saw, does Biden say the wrong thing and then insist that the wrong thing is actually right. For example,
the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese.
Yeah, nobody fucking says pronounce Burisma. Burmese. Nobody does. He mispronounced it, and then he went ahead and 3 times insisted that somebody else had told him you pronounce it another way to cover his own ass. He threw in and I guess if anybody followed up and went, who told you it was pronounced Burmesia? And then, oh, by the way, listen real quiet to the tail end of this when he says it's pronounced Burmisma.
The company that his son worked for, that's Burmisma.
That's Burmisma. That's before this clip, by the way.
The Burmese executives. So this Burmese.
You get the point. And don't even get me started on him saying ass force
First
instead
new
of Air
branch
Force.
of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force.
Not since the ass force. Not since the ass force. Sean, did you do a fucking hour on how Trump called the Air Force the ass force.
Legal, yeah, look.
Right. So,
I don't read, obviously.
All right. So let's jump ahead. Let's watch what Biden does here. And let's, you're reading something from a teleprompter, normal human, or something deranged that we all have to worry about.
We enter the month of December this month compared to where we were last September, last Christmas. Questions?
Should America?
Again, what the fuck? Like, he's like, where we enter this, the month of December, this December, as opposed to where we were last September or last Christmas. Like, that's anybody who speaks all the time and is giving speeches, like, that's well within, that's not anywhere near.
Free health care for illegal, yeah, look.
Yeah, nope.
When they gaze upon Yosemite.
Yeah, or immortal principles.
Immortal principles.
Or how you pronounce the word voila.
And then voila.
Voila. That's right. And then, of course, if you're arguing about whether or not Biden's going to allow natural gas.
They don't like the gas.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a grown-up speaking in front of a bunch of other people. So, all right, let's go. So that was it. That was, by the way, that whole piece where they cut it off right at that moment. That was our cause for concern. He went December, as opposed right before Christmas, not September. That's I'm shaking in my shoes. And then I guess he's going to make the case that Putin and Xi are at the top of their game and they're laughing at this.
Sir?
Let me call on Nancy Bloomberg. Let me call on Alexis.
By the way, I don't know what the fuck that edit was. Look at this, real quick. Let me call on Nancy at Bloomberg.
Questions?
Should America be worried, sir?
Let me call on Nancy Bloomberg. Let me call on.
Oh, there we go. And then they cut to, let me call on somebody else, different camera angle, or like an edit in there to make you think, oh, he's just saying, let me call on blah, I don't even know who's who anymore. Right? So, whoops. My computer started all over again. Right? So.
Alexis.
Alex? We've got two Alex.
Alex of Reuters.
Yes.
And so the other Alex doesn't have a heart attack.
And again, this is just being nice to the other person who he thought was going to be called on. But hey, don't ever stop Sean Hannity from having a fucking panic attack about he was just being nice. That whole thing, like the Alexis thing, this whole thing. Look at this.
Alex of Reuters.
Yes.
And so let me call on Alexis.
Alex? We've got two Alex.
Alex of Reuters.
Yes.
And so the other Alex doesn't have a heart attack. I want to call on him. Is it
Mr. President, other Alexes. Two female Alexes.
No, I'm not an Alex, but
Oh, it's two female Alexes. That's the problem. By the way, do you think it was two females named Alex and one goes by Alexis and the other one goes by Alex, but somebody wrote them on the paper as Alex and Alex because they didn't know the difference, and so he called on Alex's, and one of them was he called on Alexis, and the other the Alexis likes to be called Alex, and the other Alexis or Alexandria or whatever likes to be called Alex as well. That's the entire exchange. That's what we're fucking watching here. That's the whole thing. And him trying to sort that out and make sure that he answers everyone's question is going to be Sean Hannity's case. Did you hear somebody in the background? They actually said, there's two girls named Alex here.
Two female Alexes.
No, I'm not an Alex.
Yeah, there you go. He thought there was a guy named Alex there because Alex is a male name. There was an Alexis. So someone must have made the distinction on his list between Alexis and Alex, being that the Alexis is the female version and Alex is, and it's a normal kind of assumptive, whatever. And there's no reason why not. It doesn't say like she, her or something in their pronouns in the side of it, nor would the reporters expect that. And he just went, okay, one's Alexis, the other is Alex. And the Alexis likes to be called Alex. And he just worked that out. And somebody just said, there's two female Alexes here. That's it. That's the whole that's this whole goddamn thing.
I'd love to ask one question and then the other Alex.
Okay, let me ask the other Alex and then you.
See? He's like, somebody said there's 2 female Alexes. Okay, let me ask the other Alex and then I'll get to the other reporter. Like, honest to God, what the fuck do you have to, like, the strain you would have to go through to cut that shit out of a speech when, you know, most of the time when I'm throwing my stuff together, there's so much in here.
I have a mouth that wants to save our country. Corrupt political class.
Mm-hmm. Or, let's see, what's in here?
You're going to frack.
Mm-hmm. The,
You know the expression? The expression? They come after us from every angle. They're after us. And we're here, and they're not.
Yeah, that's, you guys remember that old expression where they come after you from all
Beyond
every
embarrassing,
place.
it is humiliating for the entire country, and frankly,
And by the way, it fucking well isn't. Why? And I don't know why the volume on this went down.
also now extremely dangerous, as every one of our enemies, every hostile regime on this planet Earth, they see that.
Yeah, you know what? Sean, I appreciate you bringing this up because Xi Jinping, like, once he gets a hold of this, you know, he's definitely going to be laughing because, let's see, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe this might be more on Xi Jinping's mind. Leaked files expose how China organized mass detention of Muslims, also sterilization, and also the overbreeding them or outbreeding them with Han Chinese. The students booked their tickets home at the end of the semester, hoping for a relaxing break after exams and a summer of happy reunions with family in China's far west. Instead, they would soon be told that their parents were gone, relatives had vanished, and neighbors were missing. All of them locked up in an expanding network of detention camps built to hold Muslim ethnic minorities. The authorities in Xinjiang region worried the situation was a powder keg, and so they prepared. Leadership distributed a classified directive advising local officials to corner returning students as soon as they arrive and keep them quiet. It included a chilling bureaucratic guide on how to handle their anguished questions, beginning with the most obvious, "Where is my family?" They're in a training school set up by the government, the prescriber answer began. If pressed, officials were to tell students that their relatives were not criminals, yet they could not leave the schools. The question and answer script also included a barely concealed threat. Students were to be told that their behavior would either shorten or extend the detention of their relatives. I'm sure you will support them because this is for their own good, officials were advised to say, and also for your own good. Let's see, full document, Chinese officials told parents were put in camps. President Xi Jinping, the party chief, laid the groundwork for the crackdown in a series of speeches delivered in private to officials during and after a visit to Xinjiang in April 2014, just weeks after the Uyghur militants stabbed more than 150 people at a train station, killing 31. Mr. Xi called for an all-out struggle against terrorism, infiltration, and separatism, using the organs of dictatorship and showing absolutely no mercy. Terrorist attacks abroad and the drawdown of American troops in Afghanistan heightened the leadership's fears. By the way, yeah, you read that right. Drawdown of American troops in Afghanistan heightened the leadership's fear. You know how Fox loves to tell you how once we got out of Afghanistan, Russia and China are so excited and they're ready to move in? Remember, have you heard them say that a dozen fucking times in the last week alone? All right. Officials argued that attacks in Britain resulted from the policy that put human rights above security, the war on terror, internment camps in Xinjiang expanded rapidly after the appointment in 2016 of Chen Quanguo, a zealous new party boss for the region. He distributed Mr. Xi's speeches to justify the campaign and exhorted officials to round up everyone who should be rounded up. The crackdown encountered doubts and resistance from local officials who feared it would exacerbate ethnic tensions and stifle economic growth. Mr. Chen responded by purging officials who suspected of standing in his way, including one county leader who was jailed after quietly releasing thousands of inmates from the camps. The leaked papers consist of 24 documents, some of which contain duplicated material. They include nearly 200 pages of internal speeches by Mr. Xi and other leaders, and more than 150 pages of directives and reports on the surveillance and control of the Uyghur population in Xinjiang. This is the Xi Jinping is not worried about Biden's speech this afternoon or whether or not he would know the difference between Alexis and Alex in the United States of America. This is what Xi Jinping is upset about and worrying about right now. The documents warned that there was a serious possibility students might sink into turmoil after learning what had happened to their relatives. It recommended that police officers in plainclothes and experienced local officials meet them as soon as they return to show humane concern and stress the rules. The directive, meaning threaten them. The directive's question and answer guide begins gently. They're told they have absolutely no need to worry about the relatives who have disappeared. Tuition for their period of study is free, and so are food and living costs, and the standards are quite high, officials were told to say, before adding that the authorities were spending more than $3 per day on meals for each detainee, even better than the living standards that some students have back home. If you want to see them, we can arrange for you to have a video meeting. The authorities anticipate, however, this was unlikely to mollify students and provide replies in certain serious questions. When will my relatives be released? If this is for training, why can't they come home? Can they request to leave? How will I afford school? My parents are studying, and there is no one to work on the farm. Good stuff. Family members, including you, must abide by the state's law and rules and not believe or spread rumors. Only then can you add points to your family member, and after a period of assessment, they can leave the school if they meet course completion standards. What are those? None of your fucking business. The party and the government will do everything possible to ease your hardships. Let's see. The line that stands out most in the script, however, may be the model answer for how to respond to a student who asked of their detained relatives, did they commit a crime? The document instructed officials to acknowledge that they had not. It's just that their thinking has been infected by unhealthy thoughts. Freedom is only possible when the virus in their thinking is eradicated and they are in good health. Get fucked. But, you know, Xi Jinping's probably, I mean that's those speeches leaking and all that kind of stuff coming out.
As well. Now, following that disastrous presser, the administration abruptly canceled Biden's supply chain speech. That was scheduled for later in the day. Now, it was more than I guess Joe could handle. He obviously needed nappy time.
Hey, fuckhead. You have to incorporate the Omicron threat as it came up into whether or not that would affect the contents of the speech. See, Trump would have gone ahead and given the speech and gone, it's nothing, and allowed that lie to get more people killed, which is Sean's entire point. At a certain point, you have to just realize that the point of Sean Hannity's entire show at this point is to get more dead maggots, to just stack dead Trump voters eyeball to eyeball height.
Now, tonight, Americans are struggling with so many major crises, all preventable and all created by that guy, Joe Biden. Now we have a new...
Oh, yeah? They were all preventable and all created by him. So the Omicron variant created by Biden in South Africa is part of a plan, of course, and preventable and, you know, the obviously optional, you know, whether or not it's a problem. Is it really a problem? It's kind of, I mean, what's the optional part? I guess it's the fact that it's a witch hunt hoaxy thing.
COVID-19 variant is likely on the way, according to top health officials, though, in South Africa.
Which is, clearly Biden administration's fault. And taking care to make sure it doesn't kill a bunch of Americans is obviously a waste of time, according to Sean Hannity.
Those infected with the Omicron variant at this time, I hope it stays this way, they're reporting that they are experiencing mild symptoms, but we will see what happens. Remember, this is the latest of many variants thus far.
Hey, Dick Smear. Public health officials are encouraged, but cautious. Yeah, the government would want to be the cautious one because that lack of caution is what has gotten a shit ton of Trump voters murdered.
Lambda variant, the MU or MU variant, the R.1 variant. As always, I encourage all of you to take this virus seriously. Consult with your doctor. Do your own research. Some research you agree with?
Yeah. Do your own research. Go on BitChute and watch long form videos about how George Soros is trying to wipe out everybody but 144,000 Jews. You know, research.
Disagree with. And while we don't know exactly how the Omicron variant will play out in the U.S., we
don't give a fuck either.
Know that Joe Biden is not fit to serve. He will only make things worse, not better. And the American people, they are speaking out loudly. They agree. According to a new Rasmussen poll, Donald Trump has a massive double-digit lead over Joe Biden.
In the Washington Examiner. Yeah, I'm sure he's shaking in his shoes.
In a 2024 head-to-head matchup. Thankfully, the 2022 midterm elections are just around the corner because the Democrats won.
Yeah, just around the corner in a marathon that is months long. But understand, these are the same assholes who in June thought that they would be running on lumber prices in 2022. Yeah. Pardon me if I'm not clutching my pearls.
The rule in D.C. is literally a wrecking ball to this country. No other way to describe it. Take a look.
One party rule. What has 1 year of Democrat control of Washington?
Sorry, we're the spiderweb part of it is fun. Or is that broken glass? I guess it's broken glass, more than likely broken glass. And so a political ad, this is news.
Given us
shortages using footage of shelves from when Trump was in office.
Inflation, crime, chaos, division, and failure. One party, 1 year.
One party, 1 year. Minority Leader McCarthy will join us with more on that ad in a moment. Joe Biden.
I'm sure. You mean the dude that MTG is trying to get kicked out of Congress? Fuck's sake. All right, look how long I went. Look, we had a bunch of stuff today. We don't even have time for this. How long is this one? All right, I'll stick around just for this one thing, but that's it. No, and I'm not going to click on shit just so you can click on it. Do you still approve? What if I never did?
Well, guys, today we're going to talk racism and xenophobia.
Well, guys, today's playlist, God Bless America, Proud to be an American, FJB. But look at this shirt. Like, just keep selling shit, dude.
Apparently, imposing a travel ban on Africa where apparently...
Okay, guys, I've got these notes written on a piece of paper under my phone, okay, guys? And posing a travel ban based on a disease is somehow not racist against the disease, whereas opposing a travel ban on countries because they're majority Muslim and have lots of black people in them as your sole and only reason for arguing that they should be, because there's terrorism literally in every state in the Middle East, but you wouldn't possibly do that to say, Saudi Arabia, which is getting bombed fairly regularly right now, but you wouldn't do that because those people build hotels, guys.
A new strain of the virus and it's getting pretty bad. That is no longer racist and xenophobic. Now, I remember a year ago when it was.
Do you remember a year? This is the same shit Hannity went through. I don't even know why we need to go through this other than...
I remember when Donald Trump imposed an Africa ban because of what was going on with the virus and because of what common sense was...
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, fuckhead. Nah. No. That wasn't that was not why these people were added to the travel ban. It was just because they were Muslim and brown. That was 100% why. Terrorism, remember? You were trying to save us from terrorism. That's what his dad was trying to do.
Telling us, and based on what the science was apparently telling us,
that was a drive-by air quotes on the word science.
Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and others going nuts. The media went crazy. It was racist. It was xenophobic. Most people had never even heard of that word until they came up with an excuse.
Oh, right. Xenophobic. His dad didn't know what the word xenophobic meant, and so they've got to act like other people don't understand the word xenophobic, as if no one knows what a xenomorph is and can't kind of picture where something that different might be shocking and instill fear in you. If things are so different, you feel out of place or off-put by it, and therefore xenophobia. Like they have to pretend that's a strange word that no one's ever heard of before, because it couldn't be that his dad is fucking dumb.
To weaponize it. So this was Nancy Pelosi. The Trump administration's expansion of its un-American travel ban is a threat to our security, our values, and the rule of law. Barring more than 350 million people from predominantly African countries from traveling to the U.S., this rule is discrimination disguised as policy. Well,
yeah, because it wasn't about COVID.
This weekend, Joe Biden implemented a similar rule. The U.S. will restrict travel from South Africa and 7 other countries
for a week. Not as a policy. For a week.
In response to the newly identified Omicron variant of the coronavirus.
Yeah, that was Trump's problem, is that he the only in response to part was brown people, Muslim shithole country, right? That was the reason.
Where is everyone? Where is CNN? Right? Where is CNN?
Look at him checking his fucking notes on this. Where is the? It's White Monkey Presents the Peach.
CNN.
Look at him, stoned to the fucking bejesus belt, and then he's scrolling. He looks down at his thing to scroll to where he was to his talking point. Again, a 4-minute video, and this motherfucker has to review his notes like on the sly. Here's a good idea. Write it on a piece of paper and put it right fucking here. Your eyes are so squinty and bloodshot and from whatever like substance you're snorting or smoking that we can't tell where the fuck you're looking anyways.
Hey, where is CNN? Remember, Biden is not a racist from blocking people from African countries from coming in with a travel ban, but Trump was. Now, guys, guess what? Both policies, even Joe Biden, amazingly enough, they make sense if that's what's...
Guys, totally they make sense. Like, you have to understand. The guys... both are good. Anytime you're blocking people coming from Africa, look, I'm for it.
The travel ban made sense then, and it probably makes sense now. The difference is, whoever...
is why. The difference is why. He was putting it forward as full policy. During the length of his presidency, that would be the denial of travel from those countries. This is on a week-to-week basis as they look at a new variant outbreak, and it'll probably be fine in a week.
Comes up with the policy. That's how they're treated is what's different, right? So in today's lesson of learning to be a liberal, Trump's ban...
Oh shit, you're reading from Rando?
On travel from China. Okay, that was xenophobic. Trump's other travel bans from places that were...
Whoa, hang out, man. So in today's lesson, learn to be a liberal, Trump's ban on travel from China in January 2020 to prevent the spread of COVID-19, which, by the way, was a sieve. You could still fly here. You just couldn't be poor, essentially. All the rich people who bought, that were working with the Chinese delegation or the business people over there that bought all that beef, for example, were allowed to go to our meat packing plants via private jet. They could come all they wanted to. They weren't kept out. They were rich. They're on a different scale. And therefore, it was more, that's why the xenophobic phrase instead of a racist phrase about it, because essentially he was like, oh, rich people like me, poor people not like me. And that would be the xenophobic part of it. But they were able to come over here. Now, I don't know if we had any outbreaks at meatpacking plants because of that. You'd have to go back and look.
Xenophobic. Trump's other travel bans from places that were hot spots were racist. Biden's travel ban, too, from South Africa and 7 other African nations in November of 2021 to prevent the spread of COVID-19. That's a necessity. It's no...
For a week. Not as a policy, for a week. And I love how you grabbed that guy's tweet about the travel ban on China. And again, we're talking about Africa to Africa. I noticed you didn't bring one up or find a tweet. I'm sure there's a right-winger out there that loves Trump that made this comparison. How come Trump's February first 2020 Africa ban is racist and Biden's isn't, because apples to apples, it fucking well is.
We're racist. It's a necessity. Okay? That's the insanity that we live. Okay? Joe Biden's Africa.
Yes, it is. Guys, it's the insanity that we live. I know you're waiting for the word in. It's not coming.
Travel ban sounds totally reasonable. Trump's was racist. Joe Biden's children occupied in overflow border detention facilities overrun with COVID-19.
Facilities, it's overrun with COVID-19. And the reason it's overrun is, of course, the people that come in who already have it and who test positive and are separated from the people who don't. But that's overrun. Not in, I don't give a fuck. Why are we testing those folks? Gee, all these people are testing positive in these places. That's because we're testing now. Shh.
Reasonable. Trump had kids in cages at much lower levels. Okay? This is what...
Well, in Biden's defense, and I'm obviously accused of always rushing to his defense, he hasn't lost any.
Get from your mainstream corporate media. Okay? Everything they do, they can weaponize. Okay?
Everything. Okay, look, I've got these notes given to me, and they're right here. And guys, I know I talk to you guys for almost 4 hours some days, but can you imagine if, guys, I did most of it looking down. Where did he go? The Greg Kelly School of Broadcasting?
Remember Joe Biden said? Trump further diminished the U.S. in the eyes of the world by expanding his travel ban. This new Africa ban is designed to make...
By the way, do you think he just copies his shit from Sean Hannity or the other way around?
Harder for black and brown people to immigrate to the United States. It is a disgrace, and we cannot let him succeed. Now, someone wrote that for Joe Biden back in February.
No. They discussed it and they phrased it, and he put it together like he does with a lot of his speeches. He either says it himself and they tighten the language for a tweet or what have you, but he's a grown person. He doesn't go, awful, disgrace, sad.
1st of 2020. Strange. I'm not seeing CNN talking about that. I'm not seeing...
Well, that's... there's a lot of things you not see. And one of them is the fact that in February of 2020, when we were heading into a recession, one of the ways that Trump was covering his ass was by being mean to brown people performatively for his voters in the beginning of an election year. This was part of that. It had nothing to do with COVID.
One talking about it. So again, remember, guys, xenophobia is not xenophobia. Xenophobia to CNN depends on who the ruling regime is and how they...
regime. This is the whole Steve Bannon thing again. And by the way, no, it would be the reasoning why. See, it's like self-defense versus murder. Is that terms I can put it in for you that you might understand, dipshit?
Weaponize it, okay? That's as simple as it comes, okay? That's exactly...
No. If it was as simple as it comes, you might understand it. You don't.
What's going on? So, keep watching. Don't let it happen. Allow common sense.
Keep watching. Don't let it happen. Let what happen? A temporary 1-week moratorium on travel from an area where they have a new variant of major concern in South Africa that they will look at again in a week and see if it's necessary. Don't let that happen. Better to allow a permanent ban on immigration and visiting from 7 different countries, just added magically to the fucking ban. Doesn't matter if you're a Coptic Christian, if you're a Yazidi, if you managed to sneak out, if you're, a woman who's, escaped from being a sex slave of ISIS or Boko Haram or any of that stuff. No. Stiff arm from the United States under Trump. Here, you'll be tested for, in this administration, like, we should probably test her and see if she has, any variants or if she has COVID. And if so, we'll allow her to, wait in quarantine and then she can come. Trump just flat no.
Prevail for a change and stop watching your corporate media. Otherwise, we got to play by the same rules, in which case Joe Biden is racist. Okay? Joe Biden is racist. The Democrats are supporting a racist travel ban. Mainstream media.
A racist, you can be racist if you're only racist for 7 days. It's kind of like when you're leaving a store and you're holding the door open for someone and and then another person walks by and then a third person and you don't know anybody. And so you hold it for another fourth so you don't seem like, oh, I don't care about these people. They're a dick. And the person, you let it go, and the person who's coming through the door is a different color than you are. And suddenly you would be a racist because that's when you chose no longer to hold the door. And then you went, oh, shit. And you opened the door for them, 7 days later, I guess. When they were the next week when you saw him, you're like, oh, I didn't want to be rude here. I'm sorry. I missed you last week. I was holding it for everybody. My arm got tired. No problem. See you later. Okay, good. You know what I mean? But
is not outraged. They're supposed to be outraged at this kind of racist.
Outraged. Is that when outraged? There's a T in there somewhere.
And xenophobia. We see outrage from them about everything else, even when they're wrong and it doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't we see it now? So remind Nancy Pelosi of that. You can't have it both ways, folks.
Yes, send her a letter. Everyone who watched this.
And that's why we have to call it out together, okay? Hopefully you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving weekend.
And by the way, call it out together is some sort of communist collectivist bullshit. I don't get it.
Don't forget to check out my store. Check out shopdonjr.com. We got some.
Let me guess. That shirt is for sale on it.
Great Cyber Monday deals going on and some stuff for the weekend. You can get it for the conservative in your life, or you can get it for the crazy liberal in your life. I can assure you, both the reactions will be awesome. Have a good one, guys. Well, guys, today.
Buy, please. I need Coke money. Dear God. When I started this show, I was completely on screen, and now I've been relegated to a smaller and smaller slice of the screen. Even Joe Biden is even beating me at the content of my own site. It looks like our travel ban's not racist anymore. It looks like Biden's actually thinking about it. No, that's a good question. It's like he's being considerate or praying about it. Like, that's our travel. He's being considerate about the entire. Meanwhile, guys. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I went way over tonight, but you guys are fun, and I missed you over the last week, so I feel like I'm adding stuff on there. Sorry, CSL. I'm not gonna add time to each show, I promise. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for the morning show, and then in the afternoon tomorrow, and then a week from Wednesday, I'm gonna try and make it in, Tuesday and Wednesday to see if I can help Stuttering John with his Twitch situation. Fingers crossed. Which reminds me, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, twitch.tv/HalSparks. Please. That would be lovely. I appreciate it when you guys do. That's lovely. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. There we go. Bunch of folks in there. Good folks. Hi. Yes. I don't know. Let me see if I can find... I'll see if I can find Chip real quick. Give me a second. I'll BRB my screen and I'll be right back. Hold on. This is just to talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. I should put some hold music on. I always have to put that in there or whatever. Chipper, here we go. Hey, world famous Chip. Here he is. Hi, buddy. It's Chip. He's such a good kitty. You are. You're a good kitty. You're all right. You're a little sleepy right now. You are. You're a stinkums. You're a stinkums. He's a good kitty. What's going on? Oh my gosh. Sleepy boy. Sleepy boy. Did you not get to have a nap today because I was busy all afternoon? He likes to, so between shows, in the morning and the afternoon show, a lot of times I will like game or work on something and I'll watch, kind of have YouTube videos in the background if I'm watching to keep up with some stuff or whatever, or have the news on, and he'll sit next to me and just go to sleep. He'll just pass out. And he's purring now. And so he'll just kind of he'll be a hard fade. But he likes to just, and he'll get annoyed if I'm busy because he'll come over and just go, "When are you gonna go sit down over there so I can lay next to you? Is that cool?" So, buddy. Yeah, he just wants to pass out because it's warm in here too. My studio gets very warm as the hours tick on. Okay, let's go. Let's say bye, Chippo. Bye. Goodbye. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you guys for the super chats. Chip appreciates them. Yes, tell him, Chip. Tell him. All right, and I will see you guys in the morning. Much love. Thank you.